Hello, welcome to this Wargamer. I'm your host, Rob. Welcome to Stream Street Day 211. And do you know what? I feel all of it today. The weight of it has crushed me. I'm joined by Mr. John. Yeah? You can't stop me, Scrivens. Hey, John.
Hello.
One of our first guests. We're going to get some other people in to hang out with us during the Stream Street Snarkathon, a classic Honest Wargamer show at this stage. A whole bunch of other content creators have started doing this show, John, where we basically just watch the Games Workshop stream and react. But let's be honest, this is the best. This is the original. This is bread before you slice it, in my opinion.
Yeah. And it's also, we're not just clapping going, yeah, that's brilliant, to everything. If we think it's cool, we'll say it's cool. If we don't think it's cool, we'll say.
We won't.
That's kind of the point, right?
Exactly. Now, you guys may have realised that we've started quite late today, and I might sound a bit hoarse. I'm going to just have to lay my cards out on the table. As you know, it was my birthday yesterday, and I may have stayed up way later than I should have. Way later. Like, way later. Like, old me, pre-lockdown me, would have been, like, a normal time. But if I'm not in bed by, like, at latest 1's now a late night to me, John, and I'm up at 7:30. Pre-COVID, Rob would have laughed at myself, if that makes sense.
Yeah. I used to get voice messages from you about the show at like 3 a.m, and that was because you just finished DJing. Yeah, and that used to be the norm. Now it's like, if I don't hear from you after midnight, I'm like, well, he's gone to bed. He's probably having his cocoa.
I never had cocoa. That's just never. Right, so I was not even playing Baldur's Gate. I was going to tell you what, I was looking at boobs. Right, but I won't go any further to protect identities. And also to avoid criminal charges. So the right, my first thing I need to talk about was last night. Last night I had an amazing time talking with Adam Abramovich and all of the cool people who came off the Army Painter show. Loved it. It was really fun. I really hope Adam asks that we do it every year. To be honest, I would quite like that to be a tradition because that was fun. I'm just going to say
it was great fun.
It was great fun, but mainly because there was everyone. So right now we're only on Twitch, but last night we were on the Army Painter Facebook, we were on the Army Painter YouTube as well, and all of those chat comments were coming into kind of like a condensed chat box for me that I could see on the screen. But obviously the Honest Wargamer was live as well, and then you Twitch guys, were also in the chat, and you were in that connected chat, and you guys were fucking hilarious. Like, you were like slaying me. Like, Gitley, where is he? Hawkeye, had to message Hawkeye last night. Jog PLC, sorry again. Bonnie and Manchild, yes Meatballs if he's here. You were all smashing it. I was like cry laughing at your comments because, like, as much as it was on the Honest Wargamer last night, John, I was trying to be like a bit of a professional. Like, obviously the Army Painter's like a proper company. Adam's a proper employee of a proper company, so we couldn't be ourselves. Like, not that we were like, I don't think we were underhand, but like it was a really nice time actually. Everyone was just being fun, but you guys were killing me in the chat. I was dying of laughter. Like when fucking Uncle Adam was on, and he was like, I painted up Nighthorn, and then Hawkeye just kept typing, tell him the win percentage.
It's tough.
I was crying with laughter. And then when Duncan was on, this is my favourite bit, when Duncan was on, and it was just a variety of different puns to do with two thin coats. There was like two thin zoats. Like, he likes like sailing, so he likes two like leaky boats. Yeah. Oh my god. So a special thank you today at the start of this show before we go and get on with looking at the previews or whatever the hell. Today's not going to be a professional show. I'm half cut. Like, nothing's working. I haven't had a coffee. Like, so it's just going to be you, me, in the chat. Like, also, so thank you for being in the chat. Thank you if you listen to the podcast back. Thank you to everyone on Patreon, and if you're one of the Patreons. But like, thank you to the chat. Thank you for being my chat. Like, you guys, like, Honest Wargamer crew are snarky bitches, and it's my favourite thing in the world, is all I'm going to say.
It's the best thing to do.
Yeah. I think, so, like, in my opinion, the Honest Wargamer chat sometimes is like two, like, drag queens side-eyeing each other, yeah? like, and then just like tutting and then walking off, right? Looking at comments. Anyway, I can't thank you enough for being you. Also,
Can I also apologise to all of our YouTube viewers, because I've just discovered that if you monetize a video, it's
it
now
puts
turning on
pre-rolls in the
all
middle.
of the adverts again.
Yeah,
It's putting all the adverts on by default now. So I'm having to just take them all off now. So apologies if you've had 600 bloody adverts.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
not
Honestly, it's the
intentional.
worst. It's the worst. And then they accidentally made it like automatic on the VODs on. They're just like I don't want. Like, honestly, we don't make any money from YouTube. You guys know. None of you.
Should I just
like,
turn the monetization off, Rob? Would
yeah,
that be
fuck it.
sensible?
Yeah, just don't do that. just don't have monetization on. Like, because we don't make any money from it. Like, to be honest, we don't get enough views. We're not Vince. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
So whatever.
I don't like sad comments where people are going, "I tried to watch it, but I can't," and I'm just like, "Oh no." I'd rather it's the content that was putting them off, to be honest.
Right. So. There's some more I'd like to talk about from last night, but can we first say a big congratulations to mod of the show and also big contributor to the show, Mr. Colonel Cabbage, the Alpha Beast himself. It's his birthday. I don't know if you've seen Colonel Cabbage. He's got like a nebulous kind of age to him. He kind of at the same time looks like a granddad, but also looks like a baby. He's got one of those faces, like a Benjamin Button. John.
I've never seen the film, but yeah.
Okay, but happy birthday to Colonel Cabbage in the chat. And if ever is your birthday, you should always pop in. We're going to celebrate your birthdays now. You guys were super lovely to me, and like we all deserve a day where we just have a great time. Happy birthday, Cabbage. One day I hope you get promoted to General Cabbage, or maybe even Commander
My
Cabbage.
cabbages.
My cabbages. Oh, my cabbages.
Oh.
Is Colonel Cabbage getting an army painter giveaway as well? He's not, I'm afraid. That was cool, though. That Jimmy Flannel, or whatever the guy is that won. Jimmy Lane. Fuck that guy. He won like £1 billion of stuff, didn't he?
Yeah. I did do a bit of a Facebook stalk to see what he was up to as a person, and it looks like it's a really cool, genuine person to win it, which is nice.
That's nice. That's nice. And also very fucking creepy of you, John. Let's be real. Like,
well, I thought if it's just another YouTuber happening to win it that already gets loads of free stuff, it would be a shame. But when it was just your average Joe, it's kind of cool, I thought.
I think it is very cool. Like, Jimmy Lane, I've always hated him. I also, welcome to anyone who may, for some reason, have joined us for the first time from the Army Painter show yesterday. I think that's a nice bit that we might have added some more people to our community. I was trying to be a good representation of the community on the show, so that's why I didn't kick off when Naomi started talking about those gargants. Oh my
you looked
God.
physically pained, though, Rob. I was so proud of you then, because I literally sat there in the chat going, yeah, this is really cool, isn't it, Rob? And you're just like looking like someone's punching you repeatedly in the knee.
Oh my God, I was like, fuck this. She was like, oh, look how good these gargants. She was like, and I've read the War Scrolls and they're great. And I was like, what do you know?
I built them before really reading the rules, and you're just literally, I could see your eyes twitching, and I was just like, yep, got him.
Oh, I was
the
fucking
best
crying.
birthday present we could have got you.
She was so nice, though. She was so nice,
gosh.
and do you know what? She's a great reminder. She's a great reminder of exactly. Sometimes when we do the stuff on the show, like, and especially the Gargant show, I don't regret the Gargant show at all. I don't regret anything I've tweeted about the Gargants. None of that. But like, there's been such a phenomenal pushback about like the statements around the Gargants, like such a big one, like, and like, it's been fascinating to see that. I don't know how, like, it's fascinating to see that a lot of the pushback I see, I don't believe is to be genuine. There are some people like Simon Weekly is a good example, who I think is genuinely trying to explore that battle tome and understand it, how to play it. Yeah, it's genuine pushback that I value and appreciate, and I think it's like something I'll add to my lexicon. But some of the others just seem so like there's such an agenda behind it. But if we just push all that to the side, to the moment, Naomi's reaction to the Gargants was just genuine and pure, and she just loved this thing. She liked this big thing. She was like, this is sweet. And there are loads and loads of people like that. And I need to try and work out how to like critically analyze a battle tome or a codex without jumping up and down on people like Naomi's head. Like, does that make sense? And
yeah,
I like. Go on.
there is probably maybe even not quite a 50-50 split of the competitive element of gamers and then the ones that they're not competitive, but to them it's their hobby is just enjoying it for the face value. So
Yeah, absolutely.
often the polarized discussions can kind of go over their head completely, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And her innocence, like Hawkeye was saying, was beautiful. And that's not to be like, look at this naive person, how sweet. That's not the criticism. Some people just don't want to push the entire hobby or like that element to this kind of like, not even razor edge, because I don't think I even push it to the razor edge. I think it's like at reading, if you're like an adult, that it seems like a pretty weak tone. But that's my opinion. I do this for a living, so like. I sometimes forget my own place in this setup where like I do this all day every day, for example. So like I don't I need to be aware of myself.
Yeah.
So she was a good healthy reminder to be aware of that at least, which I appreciated and was nice. Anyway, what up Twitch chat? She was a stark reminder that some people don't like to win. She really was. Big shout out to North London. Marcus in chat. Hello lads, long time no see. Happy birthday yesterday. Thanks Marcus, hope you're well. A lot of people don't care about competitive 20 builds lists. Undead Ben, you are absolutely correct. But again, and I've had this conversation time and time again, but I will have it one more time, is when you're reviewing something, like, yes, like you could have two people. There could be a guy who buy a bunch of Hearthguard Berserkers, and he just accidentally chooses Hermdar, or accidentally chooses Lords of the Lodge, or just asks once in a Facebook group, yeah, and someone will tell him those two things. That simple. And then there's the other guy with the Beast of Chaos, let's say, or the Mega Gargants or whatever, yeah, and then just asks the same question, and then they run at each other because they don't know anything. They're not trying to win. They're just trying to have a good time. They're trying to take what's good, but they don't really understand it. And because of the mechanics of the game, the Mega Gargant guy should lose. But that's a different. Like that's the that's what we're talking about. Actually, the conversation about playing more nuanced, like you could do this if you do this, is actually more complicated for non-new people. Does that make sense? Like,
yeah, because they might have ingrained kind of habits as much as anything as well.
Yeah, like really, it should operate on a thumb system. Do you know what? Like thumb up, thumb medium, thumb down. Like if you're new, someone's like, I would like to play games and win with my army. You'd be like Nighthaunt. I'd be like thumb down. Beast of Chaos. I'm like thumb down. Like I'm like you can, because then the caveat is you can, but I'm going to have to really explain this to you, and you're going to have to play really well. Does that make sense?
And
so that's the opposite.
It'll take you time to develop that kind of understanding of the army. It's not a case of a pickup.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly. So actually, those more like hyperbolic, like single, like good or great, good crap is actually far more useful to a new player, in my opinion. Anyway, didn't get to see the show last night, but I catch today with Mum and Dad for dinner because nice. Will, see you soon, baby. Yeah, tier 2 here. Apparently, Nottingham's going to tier 1 soon, John.
And that's you're not allowed to do anything.
Huh?
Is tier 1 the other way around? Thing is, they've not made this very clear. Is tier 1 bad? Is tier 3
1,
bad?
we're going to tier 3. Sorry, whichever the bad one
tier
is.
Tier 3, the bad one. That's what you confused me because I'm in tier 1.
Oh no, tier 3.
I get to see 5 friends still.
Yeah.
I wish I had 5 friends.
I know. It's very bold of them to assume we've got 5 friends. right. Yeah. So tier 3. Tier 3, I think, is where they have a bunch of armored badgers who guard each doorway, and you can't pass unless you can quote 3 riddles to the badgers, and then they let you be. I think that's tier 1. At this stage, I'm a tad confused. Yeah. There's some big news. Pete. All of you want to ask about that in the chat. Warhammer World opening. Skinny Boots. I'm that person, Rob. Never played. Don't know what to do. Legit cried today because I'm so frustrated. Not a good pain. I want a smaller model count army, but don't know how to play. Don't have to win every game, but don't want to get stomped on. Skinny Boots. Don't get too upset because I'm so frustrated. Not a good pain. I want a smaller model count army. I'm really sorry that you're feeling frustrated. Skinny Boots just... you can play Flesh Eater Courts. They're a real simple army, both to paint and build and play. And same also with a bunch of Stonehorns if you want some like quick advice. Those are 2 greats. Thumb. I'm going to do this thumb system, John, as like an image. I'm going to picture myself like this: thumb, thumb, thumb. And if anyone wants to message Skinny Boots and get them on board,
or join into the Discord and chat in there.
Yeah, I was thinking we should we were talking about this before. We should sort the Discord out, fucking kick everyone and start again, and then just get only the Patreons and only the Twitch chatters in, and just make it ours. Do you know what I mean? Like closed group, you're not allowed in.
Yeah.
But anyway.
So you're saying exterminatus the entire Discord?
Oh no! No, listen. It's a rash comment being said online. Let's wait and have an actual conversation about it later, right?
I'm pressing the button now, Rob. No. No.
So we got the review show coming up today, by the way. How about the YouTubers? Oh, YouTubers can get in. Fuck yeah. Come on, YouTubers. You can jump in. Yes. I love those guys. Yeah. What was I saying? Yeah, so Warhammer World has announced today that you can go play games at Warhammer World. Obviously, we've cancelled the Honest Wargamer event, the Super Series event. Not cancelled, postponed. Sorry, that's the right word. We've postponed the Super Series event for the next, however long this is happening. The worst thing about, there's loads to unpack here. They seem to have put mats out. That's exciting. Yeah. So they put mats out now. They've got some socially distanced tables. But you can. The current restrictions in Tier 2 is that you can't ever go with anyone that isn't from your household. Bubble.
So if you're a single person in a household, you can bubble up with another household. But that's the only people you can interact with.
Yeah, so you and a single person from another household can go to a table, or you and up to 6 people from your household can go to a table at Warhammer World. But truthfully, let's be. Be real for a second. Nottingham is the highest infection rates in the country. And how much more money are they going to make from a couple of tables? They're going to open Bugman's and make a couple of £100 a day? It's fucking embarrassing. From £1 billion company.
It means they don't have to give away the beer mats anymore with pre-orders.
It's just a bit. Do you know what I think is a bit fucking embarrassing though? It's just keep it locked down for fuck's sake. Don't become a vector of infection. Also, just don't do it. I don't know that I like any of my gaming buddies enough to form a long-term bubble with any of them. Anyway, wow, that guy 46. Fuck you, buddy. Also, thanks for subscribing first time today. I like all my gaming buddies that I'd want to form a long-time bubble. Would you not? In fact, if I could only form a bubble. Go on.
That was the thing when we had the lockdown. Not being able to socialise with those people was the bit that kind of tipped me over the edge, I think, a little bit. Not being able to roll some dice with someone made such a difference.
Yeah, I think, anyway, Vector of Infection, 2CP strategy.
Are we talking about the new Death Guard Codex that's coming out now?
Fresh M, thanks to the Army Paint stream yesterday. Painting my first 40k army right now. Congratulations. I'm going to read your workbook. First match is going to be soon. Oh, good luck, Fresh M. Let me know how the workbook goes. I'd forgotten about that last night. Adam was asking me about some stuff, and I was like, oh yeah, that fucking workbook. People can read that, I guess. That's before, go on.
Oh, carry on. I was going
to say that's when I was trying to produce useful content for people. And now, at best, it's spicy memes and hot takes. I've really devolved. It's my late. I'm going through my Robert Downey Jr. phase. So I'm going through the rock and roll bit now. And then I'm going to come out the other side and do some good, honest work. They're
going to kick you off of Ally McBeal soon, then.
I loved Ally McBeal. That was great. Oh. Peter John's friends are all ugly. Couldn't agree with you more. Can you get
exactly?
If you had to form a bubble with one Warhammer character, wow, great question. Who would it be? Big question from Colonel Cabbage's birthday is. Everyone can do that. You would form a bubble with Ghazghkull Thraka.
He's been in my life since 1994, Rob. I probably understand him better than I know most people.
Who? End of the world. Ghazghkull Thraka's real. Your wife is real. Yeah.
Oh, don't do this, Rob. Don't make me have to make that choice.
You can only choose one.
Well, you know the obvious answer. It is Scrivlet would be the one out of the two.
Wow. That is fucking rude. You did that to Gazzy. You did that to Ghazghkull. Yeah. I can't believe it.
I have to pick my wife over Ghazghkull. That's how much I love her, Rob.
Shalaxi.
Don't make me say this. Just because she happens to be behind me as well.
Oh, okay, that's fair. That's fair. Papa Bean says Shalaxi because of the giant boobs. Can we talk about the fact that I want like someone to Shalaxi up a giant centaur? Like Shalaxi's top half, but bottom half a centaur. Do you know what I'm saying, John? Because she's got that kind of like bovine-esque look anyway. I think that would good. Also, the Lumineth Cow Mountain Men, same thing, but centaur. Basically, every model, but it's a centaur, is my new Warhammer vision. I would like anyone to... Gotrek, he wouldn't bother me much if shit went down. He'd have you back. Good point, Stuff Lynn. Lord Croak, says Kelbar. It's a good one to hang out with. Surely it should be a mech with bubbles. That would be fun. Yeah.
I hear Fanatics not very good.
What?
Well, someone's not watching the Worlds then, are they?
Yay! Okay, everyone, you're about to be joined by our other co-host. 1 second.
It sounds like you were pretty desperate for that after I come in and I hear about would Lord Croak be fun to hang out with? Is that how bored we are?
We're generating lots of clickbait for our YouTube channel. That's how you do it, right?
Yeah, can you give us some spicy takes, Tom?
On what?
Age of Sigmar. What's your top spicy take on Age of Sigmar?
Sons of Behemoth are good.
Apparently, that's not a spicy take. That's a low ball take.
It seems very controversial, so therefore it's spicy. I mean,
okay.
I don't know what to tell you.
A retailer and 2 playtesters have told me that they're quite good. So I trust it wholeheartedly.
Let's leave this conversation. We've done it to death. The Twitch chat don't need convincing. They're either on board or not on board with this at this stage. We're super okay. Rob has his cap on backwards in the photo behind Tom. It didn't take me 2 minutes to find. Do I?
In the very back. Yeah.
Yeah, you're right at the back
right
there.
Back.
With the hat backwards.
That's when you played with your AdMech guard smash up list.
Oh my god, and those Helvrins that just let me down all day, every day.
Yeah, I've got a new picture for behind me, guys. Let me just get it up.
Top trash. Well, what's on the preview today? What's on the preview? How long till the preview? What time is it on?
1:45. So we've got 45 minutes. It's Gridiron and Glory. So that's Blood Bowl and Underworlds. But they've kind of half.
Why am I here?
There's going to be more other stuff.
Why are we here? We don't. We don't play Blood Bowl, or we don't play bloody. What's the other one? Diachasm. He's in the chat. Diachasm is in the chat. Bad Coach is in the chat. I think Bad Coach might be here for Blood Bowl. Are we excited about any Blood Bowl? I mean, Blood Bowl is, from all reports, a phenomenal game. Phenomenal.
There you go. I've got a picture of Flayed One behind me, guys. You're welcome.
Unfortunately,
it's a wet sloth.
I was going to do lots of Blood Bowl. But then COVID and 9th edition dropped, and suddenly I've just lost any kind of go-to for it.
What, for Blood Bowl?
Yeah, because it was going to be a thing that my local club were going to do, and I was like, cool, I'll get a team for that to put together, do something different, and then we got locked down, and it was like, yeah, I'm in no rush to paint those 10 models now. And then Space Marines dropped, and I was like, oh, cool, more Space Marines to distract me.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. So apparently, according to Sorry Again in the chat, Games Workshop share prices actually go up every time they reveal Space Marines. There's a few things that happen every time they reveal Space Marines. 1, Games Workshop share prices go up. 2, Chapter Master Valrak's penis gets like 0.1 of an inch longer. Like 0.1 of an inch longer. At this stage,
wait a minute.
So down to his knee.
As for 90 models in the Space Marine books, does that mean that he has a raging cock?
Like phenomenal. Like
it's very impressive. Yeah.
He's got the same problem Darren's got.
Yeah, same thing.
He's actually only got one leg.
Hate to fish in the chat. Love you tons. Warhammer Rob also. Hope you're well. Look after yourself. Lumineth are getting an owl. That's all you need to know. Oh my god. So yeah, maybe they'll see more Marines. Maybe we'll see. I mean, they've talked about the new codexes coming out soon, right? Death Guard. Tom, you heard about Warhammer World opening and becoming a vector of infection?
Yeah, I saw that, but unfortunately, no one in my household plays Warhammer, so I just go and play with myself, which I do on a regular basis anyway.
We can form a household together. Do you know that?
No.
Oh, no, we can't, because you're not a single household. Single, yes, but household, no.
True.
True.
Hello, ladies.
20 ladies
in
watching.
The chat.
both me and Tom are single, so if you would like to send
So I
us your
guess-
address.
Wait, is that making it? Send us your address.
Wait, how do you date? How do you date? I just turn up at their house and knock on the door with flowers. That's how I date.
Yeah. All right. Okay.
You ask the top 3 armies, and if they don't include the ones that are actually good, Tom's like, no, can't.
We
can't
needed an
consider.
honest Wargamer Love Island. Nikos would win.
He would win.
He's dreaming.
He wouldn't get voted out. That's true.
No.
An Honest Wargamer house reality show. I think we should. Tom, I can ask you live on air. Thoughts on forming sort of a Art of War style household with me?
I want to do that because then I'd get good at 40k, but unfortunately not with you because you're not very good.
Wow! Wow! I could get better. I could get better. How dare you?
Can you?
What?
You can't get any worse.
Can't get any worse. Jesus. Wait, didn't we play recently?
Yeah. I'll have you know, but I have achieved the same result in every single one of my 9th edition games.
It's true. That's true. Yeah. Wait, have you lost all your 9th edition games?
I've lost all of my 9th edition games, but that's like 3 games, so it's like it's not really. Oh no, I drew one. That's not true. I drew one. But
I'm the most successful 9th edition player out of the 3 of us. That's embarrassing.
Congratulations.
So Nikos is actually the secret powerhouse of the 40k team. Like that's always, and so it's the same as Age of Sigmar. Nathan just the other day is just like went to an event, won it with an army from 2018. You're like, what the fuck?
I feel like both the shows just have one guy who, if they tried hard, could actually be insane.
Yeah,
but unfortunately, they're just like running meme lists.
Yeah,
and I'm just like, okay.
Yeah.
It already is Deadwoods, by the way. It's Whitney Big Tits. It's fine.
Yeah, it really hasn't even started yet. I'm not as excited for the reveal show. As time has gone on, the reveal shows have been lackluster at best. Also, can we discuss something? And I hate to make this about me. Okay, I do.
But
and
we
us.
will anyway. We've only had a day of just Rob. It's fine.
No, and us. But do you not think that it's fortuitous that every time that we're going to do a Super Series match, which was scheduled to be today, that there's a live stream on the same day, a reveal show?
I thought you were going to say the government calls down some regulations and going to say you should stop talking smack about Boris because clearly he's got a vendetta against you personally.
He loves Sons of Behemoth. That's what it is.
He loves it.
Yeah, if Boris was going to play anything, he'd play Sons of Behemoth, wouldn't he? Yeah. He'd just be like drinking gin and making some sort of slave boy push the models around. That's what I think he would do anyway. I'm not saying that that's what he would do. Just allegedly, he's a racist. I think.
Here comes the lawsuit.
Can't get sued if it's true.
Yeah, exactly.
The thing with Alicia 12877 or something like that, where she exposed animal sanctuary and rather than going to bat for her and getting her lawyers, Twitch just banned her off the platform just to save the trouble.
Yeah, defamation dodge. Thank you, Dan. Don't. Yeah, I'm happy with that. So, do you not think it's a bit suspicious that they always organise a reveal show when we're doing the Super Series?
To be honest, mate, if you would stop watching Super Series because some Blood Bowl is getting announced. I don't know what to say.
Yeah, it's probably your problem. It's not our problem. That's true.
2 weeks in the year, if Super Series is going to be on, kind of 8 or 9 of them in the year, that they run out of times that they actually can do one of these things, right?
Yeah, they're going to run out of shit to reveal at some point.
They are going to.
Not just space marines to reveal.
Because they're quite far ahead with their roadmap.
Yeah.
So, question also, so no one seems to be bothered about this question, so I'm going to ask you one more Warhammer related. Does anyone think the road, like, what would be an adequate length for a roadmap? Like, is it a year? Like, how long do you roadmap?
I would like a year, because they did that for Necromunda, and then you know where you're standing with a faction. It means you can commit some time without fear that in 3 months' time you'll have finished painting a couple of bits, and then there'll be something else to kind of push that all to one side again. So then you've got some time.
Scrivo, there's one problem with your plan.
Yeah.
No one ever finishes painting a couple of bits.
I have.
I don't believe you.
Yeah, lockdown's been fantastic for me. I actually am a little bit stressed because I'm in the new place. I haven't got all my stuff to paint with while we do one of these reveal shows. So I'm a bit like, I'm going to have to move it all in, but it's getting quite crowded in here. Anyway.
I've seen the new place. I'm not convinced.
Just get an army painter stand of paint or something. Okay, that's what.
West Point, how did your army painting stream go yesterday, Rob? I was there for a bit of it when you spoke to that guy from Sheffield and you introduced him to Shake and Bake. Although I'm bitterly disappointed I didn't show Duncan my mech guns and ask him about Shake and Bake.
I didn't, but I did manage to get Shake and Bake, your painting technique, out to the world. All the Army Painter fans in the world had to listen to that bit, so I don't know. I'm hoping that you were proud of that.
I saw it on the Facebook page. I was like, damn, that's a good number of people learning about my painting techniques.
I think Adam looked a little bit pained at the concept as well. He's like, but why would you?
No, he doesn't. He's been to the ETC. He knows what's up.
Yeah, he knows what's up.
He's seen the fantasy players playing with Lego.
Yeah, that's true. Shotong, thanks for subscribing, by the way. Thanks, everyone, for joining us live. I hope you're well, all of you. Always leave some comments in the chat, like, get hype for later. Tom's computer can't see him, keep passing out. It's true. With the FAQs
the background, it's the curtain's fault.
I'll answer your question in a moment, Tom. Let me just ask about the roadmap. With FAQs and point changes every 6 months, you never know how your army is going to stack up anyway. That's true. I pretty much consider Warhammer to work, both game systems, to work in a 6-month cycle now. I don't know, like, there are obviously new releases. There are new releases, but from points changes / FAQs, there's at least a structural understanding of the game for 6 months, which actually isn't a huge amount of time. It's not a huge amount of time to build an army, paint an army, put it on the tabletop. Sort of thing, which is why I'm a big advocate for being a completionist and trying to absolutely almost finish an army off in some ways. The problem there, get a bunch of orcs and just get. Do you know what? I'm going to have a bunch of mech guns, for example, boys. At the minute, I'm like, I don't know what to do next. I was thinking about some mega knobs, but honestly, I think the answer is just always more boys. So I don't know how to build any more to that army. So I was thinking of doing a different army. And doing Mazinch demons and finishing them off. But the point is... Go on.
What about then looking at your army from a roles perspective of what you're missing roles-wise? Or is there nothing gap-wise that you feel you're missing there?
Yeah, exactly. So you make a really good argument. But I was comparing yesterday... the other day when I played against Necrons, I was comparing Orc boys, anything in the Orc book, and trying to compare them to Lich Guard. With the shield and the sword, and there is no comparison.
There isn't. There's no orcs with an invuln.
There's no orcs with an invuln. They don't even have that many attacks, which is just weird. They obviously don't have reanimation protocols as well. They don't have the ability to just put one back into the unit. Yeah. You don't have that orc combat block. So instead of...
You don't really have a Necron unit that's like boys, right?
No, it's true. However... Thank you to Sorry Again in the chat, and thank you to everyone, specifically these people. Scrivo, Penny Dude, Ziggy, Yes Beat Balls, Excalibur Nick, Hypnocrack, Joe Cry, and Sorry Again. Because yesterday, Tom, as you know, it's my birthday, I got myself a Squigoth.
A gargantuan Squigoth or a normal Squigoth? No,
just a baby Squig. Just a baby Squigoth. Baby Squigoth. Cool. That's fun. So I'm not far away from running the meme list of 2 baby Squigoths, Gazgul Thracker, and loads of beer cozies.
Perfect. I love
Perfect. I'm very, very excited about that. Loads. Zip Zap Rap says, I've run video game teams for over a decade. Roadmaps are a double-edged sword. Valuable, but you have to train the audience, says Zip Zap Rap. That's a good point. I don't believe that for a second. Concerns disrupt something easy. Okay. Squigoth in the house. So I'm very excited about the Squigoth. Very excited about that. But John, have you got any sort of answers for road mapping armies this 6-month cycle? Tom, you got any thoughts on it either?
Well, for me, knowing that, for example, they've said that they on this roadmap article, they didn't list Dark Angels specifically, but previously they've stated they'll be in the new year. I went, right, that means I can hold fire on trying to do anything new with my army in that time. So it's a double-edged sword for them that I'm now probably going to hold fire and not buy anything new because I'm not going to until the book's dropping. But on the flip side, I know I've got that long to kind of get my head around the Space Marine Codex and learn the basics and kind of get good on that and understand all these new stratagems that have been thrown in.
What, so for it's Space Marines?
Yeah, because obviously for Dark Angels, those stratagems that are in that book, I didn't used to touch. They weren't accessible to us. So now I've got basically a new codex entirely to learn.
Okay.
Before I even get the actual codex.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
So
Okay.
for me, it kind of works. But for instance, not knowing when orcs are coming, I'm just like, well, do I start buying new stuff? Because I have a habit of finishing an orc unit and then going, oh look, something that replaces them is now just been announced, like I did with buggies. So I'm always a bit dubious.
Fair enough. Tom, you got any thoughts on the 6-month cycle?
No idea, mate. I just vibe.
It's terrible content, Tom. I just need you to know that's
I
terrible.
mean,
content.
it's not really my expertise, though, right? Like, also, when I'm coming on, I'm hearing who would be the best Age of Sigmar character to hang out with. You lose any fucking right to complain about the level of content that I'm producing over here. Okay?
No, I'm cutting you. Come on, 6 months, right? Like I know that you don't really generally tend to think along those terms. You push into an army quite heavily or into an idea at least. Yeah. But like, is it inspiration? Like, do you wait for that moment?
All it does mean that I know what I'm going to have to test in a couple of months. Like, what is it next month? It's Space Wolves and Death Watch. So now I've got a certain amount of time to test Necrons, and then I'll probably move over to testing the Marine book. And then once I've tested that, I can go straight into those two because they're supplements.
Yeah,
so it just means that you plan what you test, right? I've got some ideas for what I want to test with Necrons. So I'm testing some stuff we didn't even talk about on Thursday because I'm learning so much from this book.
Wow. Honestly, I think the book is phenomenal. Like that's my review of the Necron book. I should tweet that out actually. So
I like it.
I go the other side. I think it's elegant. I think it's an elegant book, and I'm rare to say something like that.
So what I did was specifically, I was in work, and I have like a half an hour like thing between like a non-contact time, right? So, but I also have like 15 minutes of non-contact time just before that, right? So I spent my 15 minutes reading the book. I came across a thing. I went and did my lesson or whatever, or my playground duty or whatever, and I immediately after that went straight to town and bought the thing that I just read.
Really? That's pretty impressive.
Yeah, I'm pretty hyped.
Are you concerned? And same to the Twitch chat. Twitch Nacho Cheese says they are showing a small part of their 5-year roadmap to quell the masters a bit. Absolutely no faith that there's a 5-year roadmap. I think at best there's a 6-month roadmap with some runes.
Surely have some idea of like additions for games and what have you, right? And when they're coming.
Yeah, maybe ish, probably like a penciled in thing. I reckon.
Company should not be flexible in their kind of roadmap. At the end of the day, things are going to happen that will affect things, whether it's a manufacturing thing or an error on printing. That might sideline some things, or if they find that they're not quite happy with the product, it should get pushed back. Whether the Games Workshop are on that same standard as everyone else, completely different question, I suppose.
That's true. Zips Out Rap says quarterly makes sense if it aligns their financial quarters. 6 months would be a release list rather than be prioritized for list. Like for me, the games exist in 6-month blocks. They're from the release of the GHB or the release of like the new edition, sort of like the summertime. Basically, summer to winter, winter to summer is how I basically break them up. Those are the seasons in Warhammer, in my head. That's how it works, and it's been pretty regular and it's pretty consistent. A lot of it is to do with the financial year here in England. I think it's the same everywhere. I think the financial year works basically the same, but effectively, because of reporting, they effectively want to start making money at a certain point halfway through the summer, which is why you get the new edition. So it kicks off that quarter particularly well. Then you have Christmas, which kicks off that quarter, that next quarter really, really well. So they have like a strong first half of the year, and then they try and and then they can be really clever with the launch of the new game system, is because they can pull it before. If they like really struggling that last quarter, of the fall just before the reset in the summer, if they wanted to, they could bring the new edition or the new versions of those games back a month.
Release the edition.
Yeah, they released the edition.
They often do a big new army reveal release at the end of sort of January into February, which is normally a classic sort of lull before the end of year for them. So it's their way of boosting. So they did it with 1 year. They did Grots came out. The year before or the year before that, it was Custodes. So it's often a big new thing to get people hyped. So I think a lot of their release schedule is centered around that entirely. because it's the sort of thing where people go after Christmas, I don't really want to buy a new army, and then they see something like the Golden Boys and go, oh shit, I've got to buy all of this. Throws it all out the window.
El Custodos.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So, can we get some questions, please, for Tom and John in the chat? I'm going to go make myself a cup of tea while I'm waiting for the reveal, if that's all right with you guys.
Yeah, you go for it, dude.
That's fine.
I'll be back in just a small moment. I'm just going to leave it on. It should be fine. So, questions. Is everyone hype? What's the best guess for the Xmas boxes? Both systems. Ooh.
So traditionally, that's the first week of November. They'll do a preview for that. They don't tend to do a big song and dance for that, but maybe this year they will. It's often armies that haven't had much love either, or they've got a bit of extra stock quite often. Like Marines 2 years ago, it was a load of stuff that no one really wanted, but then they threw in Imperial Fist shoulder pads for the first time, which no one saw coming. So maybe it would be something like that.
I don't know anything about these things, so I'm just going
to... Yeah, it's such a strange... You can't really guess. It's like... I don't imagine they'll do something like Sisters of Battle, because it's only a year ago they did that big special box for them.
Yeah.
So...
You never know, you might get some like independent kits or something like that. What are you working on today, Scriver?
Me? I have got some finishing touches to do later on my Deathwing champion, who is the lovely Deathwing guy that's part of the command squad, or can be used on his own, who basically is a character killing dude. Not amazing, but he gets a 6-inch consolidation and pile in. 6-inch heroic intervention if there's a character that ends up near to, and he always strikes first. So
that's cool.
I think I'll have some play. I'm going to try it out in some smaller games just to see what he's like, because he's 80 points. It's not expensive.
Yeah, it's not the end of the world, is it?
But and it was a half painted one that I'd kind of went through my thing at 7th edition where I was like, I'm going to do loads of Deathwing, and they were so bad in 7th.
I love how we just have a conversation of, Deathwing are coming out, so I don't really want to get working on anything, and then here you are painting Deathwing.
Well, I'm finishing off the stuff that I already had. That's the best tray of it. It's amazing. People are like, oh, try that. I'm like, okay. It's like I didn't want to, but at the same time, I've got the toys. I'll play with it, but it's not like I'm going to get to go to an event with them, is it? So
no, I get you. That makes sense.
So I've already got 10 Deathwing Knights painted, so they're perfectly good to just throw out stuff. So
yeah, that's pretty good, man.
So I am going to try the Apothecary and Deathwing Ancient list just to see what I can do with that, but only with 5 Deathwing Knights and 5 normal Terminators, just to kind of see how much of a bully kind of bubble that can be. But
which Space Marine armies get their courtesies this winter? I believe it is Space Wolves and Death Watcher next, and then it's Blood Angels, and then Dark Angels, right?
Dark Angels are meant to be the first one of next year, but when they did this little roadmap thing, it just shows a codex that's got the generic Xenos artwork from the main book and a generic Imperium bit, which is of the Emperor. So it could that's just holder artwork, which makes me think maybe those 2 books might have something on the cover that we don't get to see yet, which gives me some slight hope, irrelevant of who it is as a faction. So if it's a Xenos army, if it's got something new on the cover,
you just want the lion, don't you?
Not just that, but like if Nids, I feel Nids just need some love. They had nothing new model-wise in 8th edition. It was all Gene Stealer Cults that got new stuff. So if they do even just a new character model or something, that'd be cool, right? Or for Craft World, throwing in something new, like doing a new avatar of Kane, would that not be amazing?
I'd really like to see like some new 200 troop models specifically, just because so many of them, not only are they outdated, but they're also incredibly fiddly to use, just because they keep falling over.
Yes, they're not.
So you could get some better balanced models,
because that probably help. They overhang the base by almost the same size again, so that to bunch them up just doesn't work. I think they were designed for a game that we don't play anymore. Really, it's like the way you have to bunch models up and they have to be within an inch of each other to be in combat.
Yeah, have you ever tried breaking up 40 halberdiers for Empire? My word, dude. Very painful.
Yes. So Harlequins would be nice to get some new stuff, wouldn't it? Because they're kind of... I can't say I've seen a Harlequins list apart from where they've been kind of split into some more Ynnari sort of forces that aren't the same core each time.
Yeah, I mean, the book isn't that deep though, right? You don't have that many units.
That's the challenge.
Yeah.
And they've remedied AdMech, So this to me feels like that them and Gene Cults were the ones that were also lacking. They've done the other two, so why not Harlequins next? In the fluff, then maybe not necessarily as
I
much.
don't know. I think Gene
go in.
Cults had a lot of stuff going on. When the book got first released in 7th edition, they had a lot of units in there.
Yeah, and then they've built on top of that already, haven't they? They've given them an extra wave. So Harlequins
What was
is
the
the only
second
newer
wave?
army. So you got the bikes, the Ridge Runners.
No, they were.
Cygos. That was
they
the
were-
second wave. That was the second
No,
lot.
but the units were already in the book. I'm not talking about the models. I'm saying the Harlequins book does not have many units in it.
No, that's what I mean. Yeah, they haven't got anything
No, but
extra to then
the
expand on.
the Ridge Runners of that were in the Gene Stealer book.
Not in the 7th one, were they?
Yeah, I've got it behind me.
The 7th edition book.
Yeah, I'm certain they were.
No, that was a big release like last year before.
Well, I would go and get the book, but Rob's not here, so I don't really know how to go and get it. So I can show you. But I'll show you later. Dude.
Wrong, I don't know.
I'm certain they were there. It was definitely had a lot. They definitely had a lot of units in that book.
Yeah. Oh, here's Rob. Has he got jam? Which jam is he using? That's
Oh,
the
no.
question, guys. Is he having his jam?
He's
and
allowed
champagne
different
conserve?
types of jam.
Yeah.
What? Only jams.
Only
Not
jams.
conserves.
There we go, everyone. Woohoo!
Yeah. What
Can I
kind of
just-
tea?
Can I just show you some things I got yesterday for my buff day? Very excited. Shock Jump Dragster.
Oh, he's got another one of those. There
Yeah,
you go.
another
and
car.
Fade one.
Yeah.
It's the fire and fade one, Tom.
Okay.
So I'm going to be doing Fire and Fade. Nice. But most importantly, a Squigoth, which is just in a bag.
You're gonna shake it in that bag.
The packaging for Forward World is fucking embarrassing, isn't it?
It's just a bag, isn't it? It's like
Oh,
you know when you go to Tesco.
This is my best. Yeah, go on.
And they've got like that warm food section, and there's just a chicken in a bag, and it looks awful.
Most of the Squigoth is just coming wrapped in some bubble wrap.
Show us the squig off, Rob. Show us the
There it
squig
is.
off.
That's
Get
just-
it closer.
It looks great. I'm so
Yeah,
excited for it.
it is.
Yeah. Also, a big shout out to Gitley, who I saw wrote Jampagne in the chat yesterday, which made me laugh because I got some champagne-based jam. So when's this preview starting? 45 minutes, 25 minutes? Are we excited?
20 minutes.
20 minutes.
Okay.
No, not really.
I'm excited. Well,
the
I
problem
like seeing new things.
The Blood Bowl reveal got leaked a month or
Oh.
two ago. So half of that big thing about there being a new edition of Blood Bowl has already come out. We've seen that there's the new human team with feathers and they're almost kind of very Empire themed, and the new orcs as well.
Have you ever have you ever lied to someone, right? And then they're like this thing that you already knew, and you're like, oh my god, what a surprise! Like I can't
That's
wait
what it's
to
gonna
watch.
be like.
I can't wait to watch the employees just be like, oh, what a new edition of Blood Bowl! I never saw it
I never
coming.
saw that coming.
And you're like,
No, I
you
spent
never
already...
knew
6
that.
months writing about it in the background.
That is my favourite
Yeah.
bit. That is my favourite bit. I'm excited to see the new Slanesh minis. Whenever we see the new Slanesh minis, I think that's going to be an exciting time. I really
Because
am.
they're getting a Warcry warband, which I think it is Mortals as well, which is nice because Slanesh are lacking that for Age of Sigmar, really, aren't they? Apart from because they've got the Hellstriders, is it the cavalry Mortals?
Yeah.
That's about it,
Flayers
really.
and- yeah. I don't know. I'm excited to see. I think the really nice thing about Age of Sigmar, as much as there's been some really great releases recently, really good, like model wise. I mean, if you look at the Lumineth stuff, I think the actual models are phenomenal. And we'll ignore Mountain Hatmen, but like when I first saw the Mountain Goats, I was like, lol. But over time, I've been like, oh, I'm into these. These are jazzy. So I'm a big fan of those. But I like the infantry. I just like infantry in Age of Sigmar. I just like dudes. Like, I've never really been much into tanks, in 40k. I've never been like a tank guy. Like, oh, can't wait to get a load of tanks. Like Dreadnoughts, I'm into them.
Yeah, it's
But
odd
not
because
tanks.
the big goat guys, I had a funny feeling that when I saw them painted by other people, I'd like them more. So even just, I saw on Twitter earlier, Phil Kelly's posted up a picture of one of them, but at a slight different angle, so it's kind of looking sideways, just by how he's taken the photo. I suddenly went, I actually quite like that model now.
Yeah, they can photo them a bit flat as well because they do it like as product shots, so that can be a bit tough.
So I've actually
What do you
kinda
think
gone-
about the Cainite Shadowstalkers mean for the Daughters of Cain? Well, I mean, Daughters of Cain's a fairly old book. When they released Marathi, didn't they? And the Meliusite,
Yeah.
all of the Snake Ladies.
Yeah.
But there's room for expansion from that range. And so I think one of the things that we might see next year is we might see some of those tomes that don't have a lot of models, a lot like we saw with AdMech this year. Some of those tomes that don't have a lot of models might start seeing expanded ranges, which would be great to see. I'd really like to see that.
Because otherwise it's kind of all snake themed for Daughters of Cain, so then going into there's some male figures in it and stuff as well, isn't there? So it's showing some kind of, ironically, the mixed diversity that isn't just the warlocks on the horses.
There are already some males in some beta males, as my friend Jonathan Etland calls them, in Daughters of Cain.
Just the warlock kind of horsey men, isn't it?
Yeah.
But I just thought it was interesting because it's then showing kind of different styles, and it's not just this is the army that's all about snaky people. It's giving them the other angle of it as well.
I guess so. Yeah. I'd like to see a variety. I'd like to see some of the model ranges explored more. Like I'd like to see Uruks explored more. I'd like to see. I think that would look really sweet. I mean, even the Kharadron Overlords, that would be sweet to see them explored more. Like Lumineth, I mean, people are already excited about the next wave of Lumineth that they think is coming like next week. For some reason, there's a bit of narrative in the Lumineth book, and everyone's like, "Okay, we've got to wait for the next eight nations to be announced." And I'm like, 4 nations, sorry, to be announced. You're like, it's literally like they've just released this one. It's going to be like years.
That'll be for the next book, won't it? Basically, so in the cycle almost.
Yeah,
they like to do that though. Normally, where they'll put in some sort of threads that they can pull on if they want to.
Yeah. I think you're going to see some different stuff, which I'm very, very excited about personally. So yeah, that'd be fun. And then I don't know. Do you think any of the new codexes for 40k you're going to see some new models?
Well, they've teased already a new orc, a new witch, elf kind of Drakari person, and obviously the new plague character guy for the Death Guard. So I think we'll see at least a model, because that was kind of the pattern with 40k last year. I think there's only Tyranids that didn't get a new model, like even just one model.
Can I talk about something with the Nurgle stuff?
Yeah, please do.
Is it just me, or is it really hard to differentiate between all the Nurgle characters?
The special characters like Sloppy Barpiper and Spot Scrivener.
Well, not even just in 40k, but in AOS too. Like even I went back and watched the ban phase, and you were like, "Is that a Lord of Blights or a Lord of Plagues?" I have no clue. It's just like, and we'll also with like the Nurgle Chaos Space Marine characters as well. How am I meant to tell the difference between these things if I don't know the faction?
And the names are normally 2 words that are kind of descriptive things rather than it being like, this is a person's name.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. Like, I think one of the really interesting elements is like about the model design and also our like interpretation of the models as well. Is in our heads, or at least in my head. So I don't want to speak for everyone. I'll speak for myself. We're playing with armies, right? And then there's some sort of command structure. I always liked looking at like the command structure stage in the, in the battle tome or the codex. It's like, this is how they formulate their army. These are the generals, or this guy's kind of like a sideline auxiliary with these people underneath it. I always thought that was super cool. I really like that. But I also think it's right that they get super weird on it, and then you just end up with these kind of like oddball characters, or these, things that don't like maybe traditionally fit. But almost always they're described as like legions. There's like legions of Nurgle, and then there's like a Spot Scrivener behind one pushing them forward, or whatever it might be. So I guess a good point that Tom's making is, do you think it would be easier if you differentiated them with the rules? Like, I honestly, like Sloppy Barpiper, I think does something to do with movement.
They do have slightly different rules, but I just can't tell which one's which just makes it an awkward game to play.
I agree.
Now I'm having to ask my opponent. Like, we had an issue in round 6 of the ETC last year where one of our players who didn't know orcs and just saw lots of mechs with like blue, like spinny things.
Yeah.
And he said, "Is that the big shock attack gun?" And the guy said yes. And he went and committed all of his stuff, killed all the orcs in front of it, killed the shock attack gun, and then the next turn, his opponent fired the shock attack gun.
The special one.
He said, no, this is the KFF. And then mate was just like, well, it's game 6, what can they do about it?
Yeah.
And it's my word against his now. So if you just make it easy for people to be able to tell the difference. Like, orcs, I have less sympathy because obviously being an orc player, I can tell the difference, right? One has it pointing forward, one has it on its head. But with Nurgle, how am I meant to tell the difference between these things?
It's like A plague surgeon's got the narcissus thing. The plague
What does
caster,
that look
there's
like?
not much
Yeah,
else.
but
That's the
what
thing,
does that
there's
look like? And
literally
also,
one
what does
little
that
difference. That's it.
what does that look
Yeah,
like?
what does that look like?
Yeah, what does that look like
Exactly.
also from a height perspective as well? But then I get the same thing like when you're looking at Space Marines. That's why I'm trying to bring it back to armies, because of all of the armies, maybe ignoring like Guard, I guess. The Space Marines are the most like regimented, aren't they? Effectively, like he's a first company, he's a lieutenant, and I'm like, well, how do you know he's a lieutenant? And it's like, well, he's got this particular.
He doesn't have an iron halo, but you have to know that, and that's it's the power armor problem almost, isn't it?
Yeah, I that's one of the things I found really, really stressful about reading the Necron Codex for the review. You know, it's like, this is a reanimator, and I was like, fucking great. Like, I get what that does. Yeah, it's like, well, this is the Plasmancer, and I'm like, all right, like, what's that mean? Like, and it's cool if you get into the army. Like, it's cool. Like, I'm really into it. But I would, like, I hear what Tom's saying. I wouldn't mind there being some sort of structure. Like, this is like the lieutenant-style character that does lieutenant-y style stuff.
And he looks like this, and I can tell what it is by looking at a table.
Yeah, kind of. But, I don't know, that differential is also beautiful. Like, the game is creative and like, artistic and expressionate. Like, which really does not sing sometimes with competitive gaming, but I think that's okay. I'd rather make competitive gaming more difficult and have
It's
it
not
more
necessarily
artistic.
about competitive gaming, though. If I'm playing a game that I've had my mate and I don't know what the fuck I'm playing against, it's not really very helpful.
Super true. Super true. Can't disagree with that at all. Would guess, and also, Born Again Manchild makes a good point. Tower weapon system upgrades are a nightmare. Yeah, and also Tyranids. Tyranids, oh my god.
Which how you basically need the tick list.
What? How do you mean?
Well, you can put 2 weapon upgrades on your things, right? So then you look at it, and then you're like, okay, I can't tell because you don't model it on the guy. So you just got to have like a list. Like, it's literally just a piece of paper on the side. And then you have to say, okay, this guy is this, and he has this and this. And this guy is this. It's the same with relics as well, to a degree, right?
Yeah. Yeah, would you advocate for there being like tokens or something like that you follow around? Like, or I don't know, you know, like you put the base into some sort of like other
you had
base.
you had like a base extender that had like a little clip on the side.
Yeah, that tells you some info.
The flag saying my name on it.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't think this is ever going to be an easy one, is it, though? Because you have the same problem with Fire Slayers in Age of Sigmar. I could not tell the difference. That guy's got a big key. That guy's got a big axe instead of a key.
Yeah.
What's the difference?
Yeah, I don't know either. Like, it's just, yeah. I mean, there's also like a part of like not wanting to learn. But then also talking about orcs, you know, like I'm there like, this is the shock jump dragster, and you're like, I'm so sorry, what did you just say? And I'm like, shock jump dragster? You're like, cool. Like, and my favorite thing, and actually there's another element to this where one of my favorite things is to like bamboozle people when I use the Wasbomb Blaster Jet. I'm like, right, this is the Wasbomb Blaster Jet. It's got 2 teleporter Mega Blasters, and you see their eyes just glaze over, and they're just taking no information in, like 0, and you're like, brilliant. Now I'll tell you I've got the jump. Like, this is the time to remind you that that's my weird boy's got to jump, and this is a shock jump dragster. And you're like, it's a lot of shit I heard. The only really important thing there is that the weird knob's got to jump, but you've told me a lot of other words that I don't need to hear. Does that make sense? Yeah.
At least with the Psychers, you know there's going to be something on it. Rather than just being everything in the army. With Warlords, there's only one of those until you start spamming stratagems, and then it becomes a mess.
Yeah, Blood Bowl style rings for characters would be good as well. Like, at least maybe picking out Psychers or something. Knowing what the Psyker is in 40k sometimes is like, what? What's the Psyker? It's like, well, this ballsack is the Psyker. You're like, oh, interesting.
I guess that also stems down to clarity with your opponent as well, of like when you run through each other's armies, taking the time to make sure that each other knows, and that's never easy.
Yeah, it's not a ton of time. It's not a ton of time. I agree with you. Which is why I think tournament gaming is. Can we talk about something? Because Tom, you go to a lot of big tournaments, yeah, or did go to a lot of big tournaments. One's with how's this? One's with timers. Do you not advocate for there being rounds just being a bunch longer?
Yeah, that's why I was complaining about 2.5-hour rounds at One World.
Yeah, like I reckon just matches Age Sigmar 40k whatever.
That said, in singles. Oh, yeah, 3 hours. Yeah,
just 3 hours. Just be like,
they already are 3 hours now.
No, they're not 3 hours, are they? No, they're 2.5.
Yeah.
They're 2.5. 245.
Not in 40k, they're not.
Are they not, John?
Yeah.
Does anyone back me up on this, or am I wrong?
At ETC, they're 4 hours, including 30 minutes of pairings, and then in most events, it's 3 hours.
So the shortest I've gone to has been 2 hours 45, and when you're playing something like Orcs, it was a bit of a slog to get to the end of the rounds successfully without kind of timing out.
Okay.
That's the
So
shortest
that
that
was-
you've been to, though, right?
Yeah. So
And you remember it.
And then it was 2 hours 45 at the Hellstorm 9th edition event. But I was playing Marines, so it was a little bit more straightforward to play. I didn't time out at all on those, so maybe 9th edition will be quicker as a thing as well. That's that because it's a completely different game to play now, in my opinion. So
Maybe.
I mean,
Pete
it's
says,
not just about army, though. Like, you can go to events and time people out of Orcs. I do it. It's funny. Because people expect you to be slow. I mean, I was like, oh, okay. Well, all right then.
Yeah, my Orc army is actually super fast. It doesn't have a lot of moving parts. The mech guns probably don't move.
He
Saves
says
me
firing
time.
is his. He says firing every single gun individually.
But I don't. I don't often fire them individually. I normally fire them in clusters.
they're going to move at least 18 inches, Rob, because they're going to move 3 a turn.
They could, but I'm not going to. Big shout out to Sircon in the chat. What up, baby? Also, ChemX. Really excited seeing him. Ty winning. Hope you're well. And Pete says over in Northern Ireland they do 3 hours locally for 40k for matches. So 3 hours.
I think that's a good shout.
Yeah. See, I don't know why you won't do 3 hours, hour break, 3 hour. I know it's a long day, but like, how much time are you really saving at the arse end of that? Like 45 minutes at the end of a long day? Like, just have a more chilled out day.
And if it's a 2-day event, people are still going to be local, so it doesn't matter to some extent what time the games end, because they're just going to eat and go to the hotel anyway, if they're being sensible.
That's true.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I guess so. I personally,
So
I also want them to be the 6-game tournaments, but apparently I'm on my own in that situation.
Yeah.
It depends, though, right? Because it's like the 1-6-game tournament I saw was that Bournemouth one, and at that point I was just like, well, I'm not.
Oh, Beachhead.
Yeah, it's on the south coast, and I decided I'm not going to go to the south coast and play a game that finishes at 8 p.m. to drive all the way back up to Sheffield from the very south coast at an event. So instead, I went to Belgium.
That's easier.
It's the same weekend.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
landed at like 11.
Hey, Zirak, Robbie Beast all day yesterday and still here today. Yeah, I mean, I'm hyped today. It's fun. Also nice when you don't have like much else to do. Meant to be the Super Series day today. We're all mourning its loss. Tom, I know Agile was in the chat a few times. Everyone thinking Dragon Slayers smashed the ban phase last
Yeah,
week.
they're correct.
Congratulations.
They are unironically correct.
WS10
really
don't seem to agree, but like it was hype because that was.
I mean, when you spend your entire ban phase banning safeties and blankets, while the other team is just banning weird stuff, you know, the ban phase probably hasn't gone well for you.
I've been a big fan of the aggressive bans that we saw from Monday. I'm going to do a review show on them this week. I meant to do it kind of like Tuesday time, but obviously with all the restrictions and stuff, I just decided to take my time.
I'll talk to you a bit more about it off air, because obviously I don't want to talk about it on air. But I mean, you know, it was fun. I had a lovely evening on Monday, I'm going to say.
Yeah, it's fun. It was also really fun that like you did it. Do you know what I mean? Like, could you talk to me a second about that? Because I would like to. Just keeping an eye on Johnny. Keeping an eye on for when the stream starts.
Yeah, it should in the
reveals.
next minute or so.
Okay. So just a quick one, Tom. Like, I ask you a question real quickly without trying to give too much away because that's not the plan. But you've watched, as you're wearing right now, a Fnatic top. You're a big fan. You're a big fan, obviously, of like competitive esports and how that works. How do you feel like the ban phase for like Super Series? Like,
I liked it. So
Yeah.
so it actually rewards better play because now you have to be flexible and you have to show adaptation and what have you in your faction rather than just playing the same thing, spamming it, and being semi-competent at it. Right?
Mm-hmm.
It actually rewards people who have a quick turnaround on learning things.
Yeah,
so I really enjoyed that, and it also changed a lot about how we prepped for the event. So I was very big on some certain ideas that I had when I came in that I wanted to push, and it looked like it paid off on Monday.
Yeah, I agree. I wonder, like, Would you say that like something like League of Legends ban phase is something that like I don't know if that's called pick and bans, isn't it? Is what they call it.
Yeah, pick a bans.
Is that like a favoured part of that for you, or is it more the game, or do you know what the pick and ban?
I just like watching things blow up because I'm rubbish at League.
That's true. That's fine.
Spoilers, guys. Eddie Eccles and Adam Troke are on the stream.
Are we in?
Yeah.
Is it
Yeah,
live?
They have revealed Adam Troke and Eddie Eccles so far.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'm gonna bring it up on my computer device, which is actually just.
Imagine giving a company a 260% level 5 hype train rather than some independent creators. Come on, guys.
Oh, who the?
Yeah, go on Warhammer live stream and there's a level 5 hype train with 260% complete because people can't stop throwing their money at the.
What's also really funny is you can actually like manage the hype train, so you can make it so it's harder to achieve. But they haven't. I'm still banned from the chat. Oh.
Wait, you got
500 point stompers, or we riot. Still banned
Guys,
from the chat.
I've got 550 command points. Okay, I don't know why they've called it that, but they've called it that. What should I write in the chat, and when should I do it?
Do they even know what the currency of command points has a value?
I mean, you're just giving them out for free at this point, aren't they?
Right. So I've got to watch this Twitch ad first.
So
I have not subscribed.
There was one sneak kind of teaser, vague thing they put up on Warhammer Community as well. Was one of those Hammer Hall kind of posters, as if it was a newspaper article type thing, and it was for what looked like a Soulblight vampire.
Okay.
So maybe we'll see some sort of good vampires, not just monstrous vampires, like proper vampire counts sort of approach.
Okay.
That's what I'm hoping for. That's an
that would be an army I'd be in for. That is an army I'd be like deeply in for. Would be vampires. I think you...
Born again man child.
What's he said?
Just right. Rob was right about Gargants in the chat.
Has he been banned already?
Who said?
Born again man child said that. It's still there.
Oh, what in the Warhammer chat?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, dear.
There's a guy from Sheffield in there. I'm very disappointed. I'm gonna write Gargant Sag.
Anyway. I can't wait to be wrong about the Gargants, by the way. And so that it's the biggest meme of all time.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to them winning like the LVO or something.
Everyone wants to give 5 quid to Games Workshop so that they can tell them that they're from Bavaria or Leeds. Imagine being proud of being from Leeds.
You're from Sheffield. What have you got to
Yeah, that's why we hate Leeds.
I tell you what, in classic Forge World design, this squig-off leg doesn't remotely fit this squig-off. Like, it doesn't even come fucking close.
That's not its leg, Rob.
Than I think probably half of the chat, because that's one of their earlier kits, isn't it? Because I know the Gargantuan came out 20 years ago.
Did it?
Because I remember that was revealed early 2000s.
Yeah, this doesn't fit. This doesn't fit at all. Like, not even close to fitting, does it? Like,
is there a part between it that is its thigh?
No, it's just this. It's just a leg and the leg hole, and you bang it together, and there isn't a place where it remotely fits nicely. There's either a huge gap or it's overhanging significantly, and then you would have to like sand off all the scales to make it work.
Oh, no.
Fucking atrocious. I might just do it.
Well,
What would you guys think if I didn't give it legs and I gave it like hover?
Wheels.
No, like hover like machines underneath it, so it's like floating, like a floaty tank.
Nah.
All right, we're 5 minutes in, and we have revealed Eddie and Adam. Still,
Leg hole is the name of it.
Eddie's
How
got
dare you,
Blackstone
Lou
Fortress
Diamonds?
escalation box behind him, which is out of print, so that's kind of pointless him showing that. That's rubbing it in my face that I can't buy that box anymore.
raid his house. We can find his address.
What are you? What's the problem, John?
So he's got Blackstone Fortress. I think it's Escalation, which was one of the expansions they did. They released them for about 5 minutes, and then like the all the different characters, like there's the Primaris Psyker for the guard. That sculpt just can't get it anymore. Just doesn't exist.
I've got 2 of those.
But they're all on a solid sprue as well, so they can't just go, right, we're going to reveal them individually. It's like cool. All these cool characters.
That's
But
rubbish.
never mind.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
They're not very good at like keeping like everything in effect, are they?
It adds the scarcity, and the second-hand market then just thrives off it, which I feel is kind of not helpful for them as a company, perhaps. Really, I know it keeps people in the hobby, but
I'm super into the second-hand market. My favourite bit of Demolition Man is when they go underground and then they're like doing the different types of burger, and the rat wagon. Yeah, that's my future. I'm going to be a rat wagon salesman. I'm going to be selling you rat sausages in the underground. If you guys are excited about that, please do tune in for exactly when I'll be launching that particular project soon. Under the streets of London, John, is kind of my plan. You game for that? Not game for that.
Well, it's going to be in a full lockdown, so I won't ever come to taste your wares. But yeah, I'll give it a go at some point. Basically, like cities seem to be the place where you can go to catch things now. So I'm kind of all right with sitting in the middle of nowhere.
Okay, I got a copy of Escalation from the US. It was marked up in US retail price, but it was cheaper for me than buying it locally in Australia. Got him.
Oh, that is horrible. I feel so bad for people that have that as a genuine concern just for like a normal purchase. It's just like, why can't everyone get it for the same price?
Oh, we've got to squid this other leg. Update on legs fitting well. We are currently 0 for 3.
Wait, he's only got 3 legs. He's a dry fit.
No. We've tried to dry fit 3, and so far I would say 3 are inadequate for the fitting. So well done there. Classic Forge World at this stage. Also, question to the Twitch chat. I normally use super glue and activator to stick my Forge World models together. But has anyone tried a glue gun? Or is it not very strong?
A glue gun's not very good, so it'll bind them together. But if you hit the model or drop it with any slight like enthusiasm onto the table, it might go because it is just literally sticking them together. I wouldn't recommend it.
But that's also isn't that what super glue does?
Super glue's a lot stronger than it. It's a lot more fragile.
I'll be back in a second, guys. While they're not releasing anything, I'm just going to grab a drink very quick.
Okay, no problem. Okay, it's a trap. All right, so we're not doing glue gun. All right, thanks everyone. Appreciate that, tons.
Just if you can get away with it, Rob, do a big pin in the middle of each of the legs, and then green stuff around the edge.
Well, I'm gonna have to green stuff around the edge anyway because it doesn't bloody fit. So
yeah.
Okay. Oh! 1 for 4. 1 for 4 fits real well. Just like you to know that the top left leg is a little gem. That one works a treat. So we're proud of that.
It's as intended then.
Perfect. I'm building a squigoth
all day.
I'm building a squigoth, which the chat got me for my birthday, so I'd like to thank everyone. It was really lovely, and I'm very excited about running him, especially because he's a monster, and Gazgor Threcker allows you to run and charge a monster. So now Gazzy's got a pet, which I am so hyped. He's going to replace the Red Roller John, who I was a little disappointed with recently.
You were playing it badly, I think.
Wow. Also, yeah, because apparently I'm terrible at 40k. That's it. I want this to become a meme. So I can go smash a tournament at some point. That's my plan. I didn't put any effort into 40k last edition. I really didn't. And I'm going to absolutely big ball this version of 40k.
I think you were quite justified because it was hard to feel enthusiastic when it just became such a hodgepodge of a mess, and then Space Marines dropped and it was like, oh, cool, well, we're playing a different game now if you've got these guys. So
I was just playing Yunari that time. I was like, fucking upset me so much.
Yeah.
That was the last Squigoth in Warhammer World. Oh, cheers, sorry again. Nice! Who went to pick it up for me? Thanks. Thanks, bud. I'm pretty excited about that. I didn't know... You can tell it's the last one as well. It's covered in... You know the material that they used to cure it?
Yeah.
So it's super
So you need
sticky.
to give it a wash as well once you've...
Yeah. Oh, wow. There's a guy in the Warhammer stream giving gift donations, gift subscriptions to other people in the Warhammer stream. That is... You could literally just spend that money on models, dude. That is... You're not keeping anyone in a job doing that. That's all I'm going to say. If that's what he wants to do, that's what he wants to do, I guess.
Exactly. You do you, mate.
Yeah. What, have we seen anything yet?
No. I can't see anything teased.
So there's been a question in the chat. Hey, Lord Win, my Cron boy is getting along. We're doing well. Gifting subs to $1 billion company, Omega lol. I agree with that completely. Now, one of the interesting things people are saying is, have I washed the model? I haven't washed the model, and I used to always wash my Forge World models, and this one in particular, I can feel the material on it, and it's definitely going to need a wash. Can I give you a piece of advice I picked up from James Karch from the Warhammer World Studio, who they build all of the displays inside Warhammer World. So there's a lot of Forge World in there. They don't wash any of it. They just spray it in matte varnish.
So it puts a seal over it. That makes some sense.
Yeah. So no washing. They don't do any of that. And then, because really what you're washing it off is the top layer, and sometimes the curing material is still, or substance, or whatever the fuck it is, I'm not a scientist, is underneath, and it still comes through even when you paint it. So he matte varnish sprays it, and I have, since I learnt that, I did a bunch of Forge World models which I've matte varnish sprayed, and I've never had a problem with those models as they've come up afterwards. So I do that, so matte varnish spray, then primer. Or if I'm being like really fruity, I'll do like a primer spray, and then I'll do a matte varnish spray, then I'll do a primer spray on top, is what I do. So matte varnish spray, then primer, and it just works a treat.
Solid.
Yeah. But the grease, I know what you're saying, but it does work. That's all I got to tell you. It's advice I got given, I tried the advice, and it works.
So if you wanted to be really thorough, you could wash it and then spray it anyway on top to minimise it. If people kind of feel happy with that, that's
yeah,
kind
you could if you wanted to wash it and then use the matte varnish spray. Because I was, as you guys might be aware, I played a lot Heresy, so like I've had in my life a lot of Forge World models, a lot. I've only ever had an issue with 2 where the paint wouldn't hold, ever, and I would always wash them like meticulously. So I was always into that process anyway. But then since finding this advice, I've just done it the other way, and it's worked fine for me, so I've had no problems. A lot of the issue will often be material used as the mold release, especially if it contains silicon, is that it will impact paint and hole in the surface. The grease will be soluble in varnish. If you're going to pick up airbrushing after meeting Kenny Boucher, am I going to pick up... I've tried airbrushing time and again, and I've just struggled with it all the time. Big thank you, Skells, for subscribing for the 2nd month in a row. Maybe, but I don't currently, again... because I've moved location, I don't have like a hobby space. I might try and turn over there into the hobby space, but this really is the T-Sports commentary room, so I'm trying to not make this like my personal hobby area.
No.
And so I don't really know where to put my spray thing at the moment. What's Eddie showing? A mug.
A mug.
And then also...
a Blood Bowl mug. Oh, that's appropriate, I guess.
That works, yeah. Will you get to attend a course with Henry Steele? He will get an airbrush skills rolling. Yeah, I'd like to do that. So that's the Cult of Paint guys. I'd really like to go and do a painting class with them. And one of the things actually doing the Army Painter stream last night did make me think is maybe I'd like to do a nice job on some models. This Squigoth in particular, I'm going to try and do a really nice job on. I'd like to do some good scales because it seems like it's sort of a fairly simple unit, which is nice. So I should be able to do some nice painting without too much effort, which is key.
So what gun are you going to put on top?
Oh, the Zap launch, Zap shooter, or whatever.
Zap gun, nice. Yeah. Oh, Blood Bowl.
Oh, they've announced something.
They've announced something.
Blatantly Blood Bowl 9th edition, or whatever it's going to be called.
Second
season. There you go.
Edition, yeah.
Second season edition.
Okay.
Oh, some humans, some orc fellas.
Humans with feathers. Well, that's a load of heads I'm going to steal for my guard army.
Man, they're super nice models.
They are lovely models.
Will they be push fit as well, like the last ones?
Look at the veins at those orc arms, mate.
Yeah.
Oh, those orcs look great. Oh, there you go. That's the same troll.
That's a really nice paint job too.
Yeah.
I was actually going to say that it's a very non-GW paint job, if that makes sense.
Well, they've gone very different with the Blood Bowl. Artwork's completely changed as well, so it's not that kind of high grade, kind of painted sort of style. They've gone more cartoony as well. So they've gone with a very different approach for this game, which is, I think, quite exciting.
Is anyone a better painter than me? Give some sort of thoughts on the painting. It does look quite different.
No one is a better painter than you, Rob.
It looks less like the Forge World paints schemes as well, which traditionally the Blood Bowl stuff was done by the Forge World team, I think.
So someone's saying in the chat, look, it's like a nice cartoony artwork, isn't it?
Yeah,
It should be for
very
Blood
different.
Bowl, though. It's meant to be like banter.
It's tongue in cheek. That's the whole thing. Oh,
yeah.
There we go.
So there's a new Blood Bowl magazine.
Yeah, everyone's
so
spamming
each time
High
they
James
do,
Workshop in the chat, and I'm very offended.
Yeah, I'm offended.
Each time they do a new Blood Bowl team, they'll do a magazine called Spike Magazine, which is basically the way of introducing the rules, updating anything quickly as a little FAQ, and then they collect them each year as an almanac.
Oh, that's cool.
So whenever you get a team that's new and comes out, you get a little, I think it's 10 quid, that is your rules, which is, it's all right. At least you get to get them straight away.
And you get all of them.
Oh, look at that ref. Oh,
coaches.
yes.
Oh,
that guy with the book
nice.
that guy with the book is 11 out of 10.
Why is the card bigger than his head?
Yeah, he's the
It's meant
one.
to be silly.
He's
So when
the
they
one.
launched the last Blood Bowl edition, they did a limited run halfling and goblin refs, and then once they were gone, it was gone. So it's nice they're doing something different.
Can I tell you the thing I hate most about Blood Bowl is that stick. That stick offends me.
Which
What,
stick?
the measure stick.
Yeah, that stick. It's just like
They used to be clear plastic back in the day, and it was just very practical. But those look very cool, but are not very functional. Although they do break apart to put into the box.
honestly, Blood Bowl looks just like a great game.
It's so much fun.
If you're like you don't play Age of Sigmar or 40k and you're just that guy, you're like, I just play Blood Bowl, have a great time. There's no dramas. I live my life, and then I just have a great time with my mates. It seems like absolutely so. Yeah,
it's beer and pretzels, but with wargaming kind of adjacent to it, which is nice. It's
Well,
what
I
I
think
got into the hobby with.
I think that's one of the things that like to say about it. Really, is like when you talk about like Mega Gargants, for example, you're like, oh, it's a beer and pretzel army. It's like, well, there's beer and pretzel games. Just focus
You
stuff
don't need
there.
it in an army. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Oh, here we go. Oh my God, I couldn't expect to see that thing that I've known has been coming out for years. Oh,
It wasn't leaked 2 months ago, and you didn't do a Warhammer community article about it at all.
I am specifically excited today, of all days, to be excited about it, rather than when I discovered it months and maybe even years
And here's
ago.
the box that I've got under my desk.
Oh,
there we go.
that.
Oh,
Yes!
Yay!
Yay! Yes!
And we both got one.
Oh, they both got one! Yeah, I love that. Oh, well
Do you want
done.
to see what's under my desk?
Yeah, go for it.
No, you don't. It's tears.
Oh, okay.
You're going to do the box reveal every time. Jeez.
Holy shit, new edition of Blood Bowl.
Cellophane off. Oh!
Who would have thought a new edition of Blood Bowl? It's completely unexpected, apart from the fact aren't the rules already out?
Well, I'm guessing some sort of play tester or reviewer got given a copy ahead of time because there was photos of the entire rulebook.
Yeah, the whole thing's out. The whole thing's out. Wow. Blood Bowl is huge at my club. When the season is on, we usually have 60 plus players per night, says Colonel Cabbage. That's amazing. Oh, thanks for... Oh, we nearly got a hype train going. Oh, but we didn't. Thanks, everyone.
From company to get one of them top Rob, that's why.
That's true. The best from Under Desk reveal since Naomi's Mega Gargant. That Mega Gargant reveal. Honestly, I think she was set up at that point. If she had a Mega Gargant that early, nah, they'd already come out.
They came out last weekend.
Okay, right,
This weekend. So it was yesterday. She's a retailer, so she would have had it midweek.
That's lucky.
Oh,
Well, that's her job. It's like me having them early. I'm just like, cool, I'm going to paint this 2 days early.
Isn't Blitz Bowl bigger than Blood Bowl? Blitz Bowl bigger than Blood Bowl? I don't know if that's true. Is that true?
Blitz Bowl was the whole Barnes and Noble. We'll do a smaller version of it, and then do a smaller pitch and everything. So there's less players as well. That did quite well because obviously it was going to the Barnes and Noble, other big book retailers in the US. And they did it kind of as if you want to play the game, here's another team, and it's just a simple box with just, I think it was just a sprue, rather than it being 2 sprues.
Are we not like conscious that like big businesses like I don't know, like a Waterstones or Barnes and Noble or anything like that are aware of exactly how well Games Workshop are doing at the minute? Like, there's not anyone who's like into big money you know, like the stock market and all that, who hasn't been paying attention to the Games Workshop stock prices right now. And there isn't other companies who are just like, why aren't we making minis of stuff? Do you know what I mean? Like, especially franchises where, you know, if you look at A Song of Ice and Fire, that's doing quite well as like a mini franchise. Star Wars Legion, Marvel now, I guess. Yeah. So actually, probably it's already happening in a big way, but I assume it's going to maybe happen more, which is great for us as hobbyists.
There's already that crossover. So, like, when X-Wing launched and was huge, over here in the UK, Waterstones were stocking it in their larger shops. So
yeah, they were.
The D&D stuff all spills into there as well, and I think in some of their big ones now you get the WizKids miniatures, D&D minis as well. So there's that massive crossover already.
What bookstores do specifically is they stock other things specifically to pull people in, because if you just want to buy a book, then you just go online, right? So that's why you see things like coffee shops popping up in bookstores like Waterstones, like you see Costa working with Waterstones, and then you'll see W.H. Smith as well as a good example, because rather than being just a bookstore, they've then moved heavily into stationery as well, because that gets people through the doors, and then maybe buy a book as well while you're there, right?
Yeah.
Because they understand that if they're just going to compete as just a bookstore, they're not going to be able to compete, and that's why you also get things like X-Wing and board games in there as well, and it becomes more of an experience, which is why you have all these chairs popping up.
Yeah, and that's what attracted me as a teenager, going in there to buy comics.
Yeah, it's an experience.
A board game, and then it spilled from there. So
you could even have like a table set up where people will just play board games, or have like a board game cafe attached.
The challenge is a lot of, for example, Waterstones. A lot of their stocking, they've got a core range that they have, but a lot of it is ordered by the staff as well. So it's just down to the interest for that staff.
I mean,
I think the key way to take it. I think the key way, in my opinion, the key way to take it is actually you set up a gaming space and then you add a shop, as opposed to you have a shop and then you try to stick in a gaming space. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, I think
it's just fishing around to try and find ways to be unique in a market that's heavily dominated by the internet.
Yeah, I think I think the right way to go about it is how the Bad Moon Cafe guys have done. I think that they've set up what the future of like a lot of where it's a community space with a shop attached and a cafe. So
you can see Sanctuary's copied that. Done the same thing.
Yeah. Or people go there to buy donuts that have no interest in games, and then suddenly go, "Oh, should we try one of those games whilst we're here?" Done.
I don't know. Mansfield. I don't imagine that's true. A lot of those can't read.
There's lots of photos of people going and buying them. So
anyway, my club does some football streaming sometimes. Interesting. I was mainly talking to Ellis. Ellis, he said Marvel is blowing up at the minute. I know that's true.
Wasn't he playing Legion?
Yeah, he was, and is still. Ellis, if you could drop me a DM if you've got the time about any good. I wonder if there's any good live coverage of both Marvel and Star Wars, and I would like to watch it because I don't know if there is.
Fantasy Flight, the company that makes Star Wars Legion, did do quite a few big live streams of when they reveal new stuff. They were kind of showcasing and actually playing a game with it. So
not that. That's not what I mean.
Stuff.
That's
not
what I mean.
Probably as close as I've seen for it.
Yeah, that's not what I mean, though, is it? Like, I mean, specifically, I mean specifically live tournament coverage is exactly what I mean, because that's one of the things we plan on doing next year is trying to diversify into some live other coverage. FFG live streamed their finals a year ago. Okay, I'm going to go find that and see what that looked like, because that'd be interesting. Because I'd like to do some independent live coverage of some of those other systems. I think that'd be really fun. And then we should be able to set it up so that we just have some other commentators coming who are decent at understanding the game, and then they just do that part. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Anyway, let's talk about these orcs. There's some sweet new Gretchen models.
Yeah, those grots look great.
Yeah, cool.
There's a lot of character to these models. I think the initial orc team they did for Blood Bowl, the last version, were very vanilla.
By the way,
kind of added flavour.
Can I just point out while we're here, I love how the orc in the middle and the orc in the middle right are exactly the same orc. One's just been turned slightly, so it looks like it's different pose.
So it'll be two sprues in there, I imagine, of the same thing.
They look great though. Look at those guys. I wonder if they're new styles of player. Like they're not.
So those are two of the special characters, the star players. So that's Griff Oberwald, and that one is Varg Ghoul-Chewer. They are two ones that have had sculpts in the last edition, but have also been around since second or third edition Blood Bowl.
Okay, so they're just.
But they were resin before as well. They were the first wave of resin star characters, which resin. No thanks.
Resin or Finecast.
Well, same difference. So it's Forge World Finecast resin stuff.
Oh, so resin, not Finecast. Okay.
And they specifically are just saying that they are plastic, these ones, which is great because I prefer plastic hands down, personally anyway.
Yeah. Same. Although there is something
easier.
about like the weightiness sometimes of the resin, but yeah, over time resin becomes super annoying. Like you have to be like that little bit more precious with it when you're moving it around. It eventually gets chipped, damaged, just a bit more. Like it's ultimately just not the right way to take stuff.
No.
Okay, so they're special characters.
Oh, yeah, so those star players, you can add them into teams, and there's like a different kind of matrix of who they can go with. So it won't be just he only works with orcs, he only works with humans. So there'll be some crossover as well, which is quite cool.
That's fun. It's fun, like mercs. Mercs.
Well, you hire them in to help out your team occasionally, so it can be quite fun.
Yeah,
yes.
And
So Jog PLC's made a good point in the chat. That orc would
Yeah.
make a great war boss. So just give him some weapons, job done.
Give him some weapon.
Just give him
That's
some
an war
weapons.
boss, isn't it?
He's got a power fist there. He's got just like a fist with a big spike on it. That's a power fist.
Yeah,
Exactly.
that works.
Power
That
claw.
works.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's orc technology. This is why Tom's so triggered when he tries and plays 40k against anyone with orcs. He's like, what's that? Like, what is anything that you've got? They're like, I just took a weapon on. What else do you need?
Yeah.
It's an orc.
Yeah. It's fine.
Yeah.
Counts. As long as you believe it's power claw, it's power claw.
Exactly. As long as you believe it, that's all that matters.
Gotta believe it.
And we've still got this picture.
That looks fun to paint, actually. Now I'm kind of tempted with the orc.
I think I'd hate painting that. I'd have to do it in parts just because of that jaw.
There's too many good. Like it's a complicated model, I think.
Yeah.
Although the human fella looks great, and it does make me excited for potential new free guild models at some point, because it's just some nice heraldry. It's a bit old worldy, but I wouldn't mind seeing that in the future.
It's Blood Bowl's set in its own kind of almost the old world. I think they've kind of very much kind of put a banner in the sand, kind of going, right, we're going to stick to this, but we're also not going to be too precious about it being exactly the old world.
Okay. Well, fascinating.
Are we going to get anything else? We've had half an hour almost, and we have seen things we have already seen.
Yeah. Apart from these two, the referees are cool.
Legolas and Gimli, yep.
The referees.
One.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, now these guys I'm into. These guys are great. I'm all about this.
Okay.
Cool.
You're not into this? You're not into that dwarf guy?
I mean, his arm, you know what? I am, but only because it's so absurd. Look at how thick his arms are.
I know. They're so swole.
Yeah,
and also, like, if you put that arm
bigger
down,
than
it
his
would
head.
reach... If you put that arm down, it would reach his toes. Is that
Yeah.
right? Is that
I mean,
dwarf-like?
he is kneeling, to be fair, but
Okay, yeah, good point. Thank you.
so they only hit his knees.
Yeah, the elf also doesn't skip leg day. Good point. Well made.
Oh, yeah, he's a cyclist.
Yeah, that's a strong elf. Absolutely. Well, you're gonna have to be strong if you're working on. Am I jealous of the arms?
I don't know why that card has blurring on it, but it does. So, gets a little bit more red the further towards the corners you get. Whereas it's like dark red near his fingers.
Yeah, it's pretty underwhelming so far. I mean, because we already knew all this stuff was coming out, right? I guess we haven't seen the models.
Well, we saw a lot of like those two teams. That's nothing new. They've even previewed them on Warhammer Community, because obviously when it leaked, they had to then respond. So I guess it's kind of that they've stuck to still doing the preview, even though it's already been leaked, which is a little bit kind of like, okay, it's not really a reveal if you've already shown it.
It's true. It's true that.
But to be fair, we're only calling it a preview and not a reveal.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's true. The ability to outrun an angry troll player seems like a good idea. I like, which apparently is one of the things you could do. I like the dwarf SpongeBob boy, please. So after 30 minutes, we have seen 2 new models. Yeah, it's not the best so far. Like, it's not.
But there's 15,000 people watching, Rob.
Including us, though. Including us. So
we're perpetuating the problem.
let's give them their due. Let's give them their due.
So in the box, you get the referees in the box. That's unusual. And the star players. Yes, so normally, like the last edition of Blood Bowl, I think was £65 UK. You got 2 teams, all the gumph to play, rulebook, you name it. But in this, you're getting the 2 star players and the refs. So I think this is going to be £100, £105 maybe. They're
but
going to ramp that up.
don't forget New Games Workshop pricing. They're not messing about anymore, are they? Stuff is not. I mean, stuff was never cheap, but now they're like, nah, we're sticking money on top of this. I'm going to say at least 100 quid. At least 100 quid.
I'm going to say 125.
Yeah, it's a bigger set. So the troll and the ogre were like 15, 20 quid each as well. Characters are about that sort of price. So that's a big set for Blood Bowl. That is, if you just want to play it and have no interest in any other teams, that's a good way to do it, I think.
Yeah, 1,000 dingo dollars. Says Jog. $500, $400 Australian is also another suggestion, which doesn't sound too far from the truth, to be honest. 1,400, $6,900 and $420 is the right price point. Let's be honest.
So the art style, Minto and Matt's asked about the art style. I kind of at first was a bit disappointed in it, just because it used to be this really kind of refined, painterly style, and I thought this is cool. Games Workshop have upped their game. They're kind of going with this very kind of cool stuff. I kind of like the more cartoony approach they're going with this stuff though, because it sets the tone that Blood Bowl is a little bit tongue in cheek.
Okay, so like they're trying to convey that in the actual artwork.
I think so, yeah, and it might even be a cost-saving measure because that artwork will be cheaper and quicker to produce because it's quicker.
Do you guys remember that Warhammer Quest app you could get on like a tablet? The game.
Yeah. Talisman.
Yeah.
No, it was called Warhammer Quest.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And it literally looks like these score sheets. Like the maps. Yeah. It looks identical.
It does. It does. And are those some new those are new scoring cards as well, right?
They're just updated. So it's something they've always had in the game, but they've made them more sort of generic looking a little bit.
Yeah.
Because they were, every time you bought a pitch, so if you bought one of Games Workshop's cardboard pitches that sell out within minutes of them bloody releasing them, you'd get 2 of those dugouts as well that were themed to the pitch.
Okay. Well, anyway, hey to Unleashed, who's just joined us here as well. I think the Empire team is a bit more cartoony in detail than the other stuff. The cloth statues are broader and there's less variation in style. Still going to buy them for free guild conversion though. I think they are free guild. This is also top tech, by the way. Reading the book and showing it in the just on air instead of showing any graphics. That's some top tech there, boys. Good job.
Some good improvisation from Adam.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Absolutely. Hardback rule, definitely going to be it's a hardback rule book. Definitely going to be going to be £100 plus. Big shout out to Owen in the chat who is playing a TTS event today, which is fun.
Nice. I hope you're doing that's named Sigma one, right?
Yeah.
That's Hammer Time 4?
No, it's just a little.
Oh, is he just is he playing in one? Oh, great.
There's also, as I understand it, there's also a very large Marvel community on TTS as well. Like TTS has been fantastic, I think, for lots of the game systems that aren't just AOS or 40k. I've seen some like big numbers on some of those, and I wonder how much the companies are going to go after it post lockdown. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's because it hits a certain style of game as well. Like Marvel has the requirement of you needing like 5 models per side on a small square board. I think it's 4x4. So it's just like that's perfect for your average Joe to put on their dining table, not feel overwhelmed by the amount of figures to paint as well.
I actually am very, very, very Marvel curious. I think the only thing that really stops me is obviously the narrative. But John's assured me that I shouldn't judge the narrative based on the films. So
yes.
MCP devs use the TTS for data for balance and openly admit they watch the TTS community. That's cool. That's really cool.
That's a very good positive, right?
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. Like, we're looking at our actual game, we're taking in the data, and then we're using it for constructive feedback. That's excellent work. Well done, them. That's really good. That's the other thing.
I'm going to make a commitment then. I'm going to buy that box on payday because I've got it sat in the shop. I'm staring.
The Marvel one.
Marvel Crisis Protocol. I'll give it a go.
The opening, the starter box.
Yeah. Because
it's
quite good value. 100 quid, I think,
wow.
roughly. It's not cheap, but But
Why are we still looking at sprues, you utter time wasters? Yeah, are they just reading through the book to each other?
Oh no, it's cheaper than I thought. It's about $79.99 on average, so it's not a horrendously expensive box.
Is MCP? No, everyone ignore my questions. That's fine. Is MCP some of the privateer press guys? Yeah, they implemented the first bans and comp based on the last 3 seasons of TTS. Wow. Talking about, I don't know if you've seen this, John and Tom, but also Marvel Crisis Protocol has got some banned these cards, I think. Now,
which
from
is
their
good.
game system.
So that's a company called Atomic Mass Games. So I think they've learned a lot from people like Fantasy Flight when they did X-Wing. They started doing a lot of comp as well because they had to, because some of the stuff was just janky and busted to play. So it shows that they're actually responsive to kind of the community.
It's a massive positive, I think.
Yeah.
It's really good. Ooh. Just put my Howler on my screen. I was very excited about that.
Very good.
Yeah. So far, biggest surprise so far. Okay. There's a new book. Spike.
So issue 11. Issue 11. Brilliant.
This is.
And
really
they're turning it up to
so
11 on the cover. There you go. They've never said that on a reveal ever, Rob.
Issue 11. This
shocked.
time we turn it up to 11. Phil Kelly. My favorite quote. This time we turn it up to 11. Every time. Every time, guaranteed. You're going to hear him say that.
They are doing some books tied up to it though, so that's interesting because they did. So when Marvel weren't doing the comics, Titan Comics, the guys that did the comics beforehand, had the license. They did a series of Blood Bowl comics, which I don't think anyone read. So they have done some Blood Bowl stuff, but it seemed to get forgotten.
So the guy that runs Black Library, as far as I'm aware, is like a utter fucking nugget. Like I'm not shy about calling that guy out, like a full drill hole. Like he's got like just an absolute like, and I'm not talking about the editor. I'm talking about like that above the creative guys there's a business guy.
Yeah,
that guy. And so they're just like, let's just churn out all sorts of like books all the time, like irregardless of quality. And so like
and these are reprints.
Yeah, who's gonna read these? Like,
we'll be right back.
Who's going to read these books is my question. It just feels like it's just like a marketing department who like, make a book as well. It's like, who the fuck is going to read that? All right? Read them. They are very good, says Wargamer.
Just Wargamer read them.
If they're an omnibus that's a reprint, the chances are the community of Blood Bowl, most of the people that would have wanted to read it probably have already read it.
Who wants to read it? I agree. No, no, I don't agree. Who is it that said it in the chat? Zip Zap Rap says anyone who reads Blood Bowl fiction is a degenerate, and I agree with that absolutely. Like, and if you're one of them, I mean you. Right now, Twitch chat, I mean you. If you're one of them, Wargamer, if it's you, degenerate. Like, you could read any book. You could read like some Peter F. Hamilton. You could read some Banks. You could read some like amazing fiction. And you decide to read Blood Bowl fiction. Degenerate is what you are. Yeah, in my opinion. Oh, thanks Unleashed 4 for donating £10 to the show. Thanks, man. Yeah, fucking degens. But thank you so much, Unleashed 4. That's great of you. Yeah, you could read Wargamer, Degenerate and Proud. I got no words for you. You could have even read, like, the Horus Heresy. Okay.
Do you know what's interesting, Rob? Is that we know for a fact that the Destruction players will not be buying these books because they are not picture books.
I just don't understand why would you ever read them? But listen, if you want to, who am I to judge? You know, some people
you
like
do
all
you,
sorts.
guys.
Yeah, you do you. You do you. I'm not judging you.
Apart from the fact that you're a DJ, but apart from that, yeah.
That's not my fault. You're a degenerate. Like, that's fine. Like, I paint straight out the pot. I paint straight out the pot. I bet there's people who think I'm a degenerate. What do you think of that?
Most of the stream last night did when you said that. I think the chat kind of reflected that.
What?
Because someone mentioned that you I think you said that you dipped straight from the pot, and the chat was just kind of, what? You can't do that.
Okay, so in Wargamer's defence, because I'm going to read it, so you all get a fair and balanced side of it. They are genuinely funny books, more Discworld than normal Games Workshop stuff. So that actually is that makes sense. that is really great. So there you go. There's the other side of it. Still probably think you're a degenerate, but I just consider that. Although Discworld's super fun. Although I've actually saved Discworld for myself. Have I ever told you this? It's like a series I haven't read yet because I'm waiting to read it.
Well,
you can read them all individually if you want to, though.
Yeah, I know. I want to get to a point in my life where I'm like, I don't do like 60 hours a week, whatever the fuck. Do you know what I mean? And it's just like, I'm gonna get through them now at some point in my life, and I'm really looking forward to that. If I don't, die before then.
So no blizzards for you then, Rob.
There are 54 Discworld books. You can make a start now, says Corner Star. I know. I was going to start by watching that TV show, The Watch. And then I'm not going to watch that because the showrunner is a degenerate.
Wait, what show is this?
What, he reads Blood Bowl books?
The showrunner of what?
So basically, they were going to do a Discworld adaptation, all right, called The Watch. And then the showrunner, and this was with Terry Pratchett's estate, and maybe even Terry Pratchett before unfortunately. Yeah. And then once Terry was gone, he was just like, "Oh, do you know what? Don't worry, I've absolutely reinvented this. I can make this loads better. This is going to be not even my version of The Watch. I've now created something adjacent." And I've created it was his exact statement, and then everyone's come out against it.
Inspired by Terry.
Okay. We've got some artwork. By Games Workshop is always
some dwarfs and some.
No. They've added cavalry into blooming Warcry. They're doing what they did to Kill Team. They're just adding in more layers to it, just so it ends up being 40k or Age of Sigmar. Oh man.
No, it's not. It's little version. Chaos.
Yeah.
Some more Agents of Chaos. Let's see if they've ever. Oh wait. Was that a Lord on Juggernaut? Wait, a Pusco Blight Lord in Warcry.
Putting in big toys. This is stupid.
Warcry Grand Alliances.
Oh. So to get a lot of the rules for those, you had to buy the cards, and they kept selling out as well.
Oh my god, here he is. Fucking Adam Troke nailed it there. And he was like, "Oh, can you believe that thing that we knew about already? What do you think?" Warcry Grand Alliances. Shut up, I can play my Wood Elves in Warcry. Fine, if that's what you want to do. Warcry, and now they talk about these random 4 books for 30 minutes. Yes. Mecha Gargants in Warcry when? Plum says who even plays Warcry. I know for a fact that there's 4 people in the shed down south who definitely do. John, how many games of Warcry have you actually played? Don't put a finger up and say me.
9.
9 games.
My last game before lockdown was Warcry, and I played it as Gotrek, and it was great just killing everything. But it was not a game. It was just rolling dice, moving some figures around and going, cool, I've had fun. But that was because it was Gotreks.
I'm always amazed by Adam's thin door. That's brilliant. So it's Warcry, but you get more dudes.
Yeah.
So there's more range of dudes from the already existing model range. So this is just a book show. This is just, we've done more books.
Is books and box games as a department went, shit, we need to actually sell some stuff this year because we've only released 3 codexes. Let's churn some stuff out for Warcry.
Yeah.
Using the models that we already sell.
Can we just shout out to intern Matt MJ Pegasus who just called it More Cry? Someone clip that. That's the joke of the show. More Cry.
Oh dear. It's more like Poor Cry because it's a poor show out.
Yeah.
That was you just took it my joke but worse. Thanks, Scribber.
Thanks, what we did last night. It was just too thin something. It's like he's bragging about his quality of his paint. It's obviously too thin gloats.
Yeah, that was funny.
That was so much fun.
So I would agree with who said this. Where is it? Someone said basically what I really like about the simplicity of Warcry is making it more complicated, so it is not like the complicated big boy version of the game. Do you know what I mean? Like, if you're gonna if there's gonna be a simplified, smaller version of the game, have a simplified, smaller version of the game. Which is what Lou Diamonds was saying here.
That's what killed Kill Team for me. It's like Kill Team started off as 10 figures, job done. Then they added commanders, elites. I think they were one step off doing dreadnoughts and vehicles. It was just like, am I just playing a combat patrol? What is this?
So rumors, Tom, rumors that we've just heard in the Twitch chat, big rumors. Like, is it true? Now, I don't want to... Obviously, Games Workshop already makes stuff from plastic, yeah? So we know that they aren't, like... It's already going to have a carbon footprint of some sort. That's an issue that we all need to deal with at some point. You know, they're trying to go carbon neutral, whatever. But maybe, and I'm not saying this is the case, so this is all maybes, hypothesis, not facts. Maybe the people who work at Games Workshop really are in a death cult. Hear me out, right?
Didn't you work at Games Workshop?
I did, but I left. Important point. Yeah, freed
How didn't
myself.
they kill you?
No, well, they freed me. I freed myself a bit like when you leave the Scientologist. Hear me out with the death cult theory. Yeah, the death cult that they're doing, right, is they're trying to speed up the end of the Earth through climate change. Right, this is their long-term plan. Obviously, creating loads of plastic and then invalidating armies is their way of just making you have to get more plastic. So production and pollution. But more importantly, now in an age of digital solutions, they're just like Owen has said in the chat. They've teamed up with the president of Brazil, Bolsonaro, or whatever his name is.
Bolsonaro.
For chopping down all the trees. And then they're like, listen, we could put all of our rules digitally, but we're just going to print more and more books. More.
That's not how paper works.
Okay. Stop it. Right. Let me go with my theory. So the idea is that they're just chopping down as many trees as possible to produce those books. In fact, actually, I can't arguably say that I've seen a tree near the Games Workshop HQ in a long time. Maybe they're responsible for loss of...
I don't think I've ever seen a tree in Nottingham. Even at Christmas, when they had like the Christmas
market. They're still on the ring road, to be fair.
That's true. Did I trick them to give me a sock? Yes. So what you're saying is Games Workshop could be a Captain Planet villain. I said allegedly, and just hear me out on that theory. What are your thoughts? Is this why we're seeing so many books released?
Or they're just really desperate to maintain their sales targets from last year.
Okay. Oh, apparently, so sorry again, who's an actual climate scientist, I'd like you to know, who deals with like chemicals and stuff, said there's one issue with this: plastic and books are a way to store carbon. Fuck. Okay.
So Robbie the House Elf is your new nickname as well, we've decided.
That's why the Sylvaneth book is so badly written. Added to the conspiracy theory, screw those eco-elves, right? They don't want you to support those guys. And they love fire. They're always doing things in the realm of fire.
You'd like better on content when this is what we're having to get to. Oh, we're revealing something though, so luckily we've got some more content to react to. Oh, never mind. It's Warhammer Underworld, so no. We don't have any content, please.
Wait,
Teclis is going to be in He's going to be in this now, isn't it? They're going to put Teclis into Underworlds.
Askasm, let's go to the Askasm show. Oh wait, some Lumineth. Oh wait, they look beautiful. Oh man, they look really nice. They do look. Look at this guy. Some new Lumineth boy. The Lumineth boys are going to be touching each other. They're Miari-like.
They've got really pretty bases.
They got very pretty bases. You're right. Yeah.
Oh, that face is odd.
That's a really weird proportioned beast.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of either of those actually.
Some more mortal. Is that some more mortal Slanesh?
Slash guys, yeah.
Wait, everyone, get ready for the Adam Troke. Like, I can't believe that just happened. Let's do it together. Arms out. Oh! Didn't do it this time.
He's also got autofocus set on his camera, which is really putting me off.
Why is his door so thin? That is really funny. Let's talk about that. Eddie's such a nice player there. He makes me laugh. Tom, Fnatic just lost.
No, they haven't lost. It's a best of 5. It's 2-2.
Yeah.
I saw new Lumineth, and now there's a party in my pants, says Gitley. Yeah, so new Lumineth models. Some people are excited about that. Circon, the best part of this warband is that Lumineth warband has about as many units as the entire Air West book.
Yeah. Oh. Yeah, it's a diachasm.
Okay, are they going to show... What, they're showing it us again?
No.
I just want to see the models in detail. Them little
can't believe
cute
we've got a
Lumineths.
Slangor model, and it's just a lanky-looking weird model.
What did you
I'm
think
disappointed.
Slangor was going to be?
I thought it'd have like a giant third leg or something.
I can't wait for Nurgle's gore. What are they called?
Pestigore. They've got them in Blood
Pestigore.
Bowl, and they look so cool.
Yeah. That's fun. New Lumineth models. And as a Skaven player, it's like, what the hell? Okay, so what have you got for the new Lumineth models? There's a Swordmaster, which we haven't seen one of those yet, John. There hasn't been. No. There hasn't been like a sword wielding dude. So actually, that's a big deal.
So these are going to have a war scroll as well, aren't they? They're going to have a whole full. You can put them in the game if you really want to.
Yeah,
I mean, the guy with the owl. Plus their band.
The guy with the owl is obviously amazing. Let's be real. He looks.
He's a
he
hoot.
looks perfect. He looks like all the Lumineth models, like absolutely atrocious. Like, you know, the Lumineth guys look like they go to a club that I'm not allowed into. Basically,
the frill on the back of his top makes him. He looks like he should be a Flash Gordon villain to me.
Yeah,
it's Ming the Merciless.
Do the Lumineth guys have 3 strings on their bow? That's dumb. That is super dumb. Is that true on
so
the
they can
other
fire
archers?
3 arrows at once.
And the bow is shorter at the bottom, so it's actually an uneven bow. So I think like mechanically how that's going to work is it's actually going to shoot wonky as well.
Okay. They look like rejects from a secret society meeting. The League of Unextraordinary Gentlemen.
I feel like those models make fantastic D&D pieces.
Yes.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. It's like 3 little character models, or 4 little character models, isn't it? I'm not counting the archer. Yeah. He looks rubbish. The League of Asshole Elves. Scriver, Japanese bows are proportioned like that. They're not smaller at the bottom.
I'll take that back. Yeah. It seems odd to me, but I don't know enough about bows, apparently.
Why do Wargamers always do this, lol? You're in a realm of light with literal cow mountain giants, but 3 strings is dumb. Listen, because I'm fine with cow mountains, because that could happen. But 3 strings on a bow is dumb because it's never happened. There we go. Well, that's why it's dumb.
I'm just adding a string to my bow is a literal thing.
You need to adhere to the rules of the fictional universe, my dude.
He's upskilled a lot. He's upskilled twice. That's why he's got 3. He's got the 3 strings, Rob.
Fine. I'm going to go.
And the bow's obviously tuned to drop D as well because he's obviously a new metaler as well.
I hate this entire conversation.
As long as it's magic, it'll be fine. Okay.
Yeah.
There we go.
There's also just being Okay, right. This is what I'm excited about.
These do look cool
though. These do look cool. I love the what's the guy Aladdin style pants that we've got going on those guys.
Yeah, they're almost like yoga pants.
they're
like kickboxing
pants.
stuff. So the kickboxing ones where they wear the kind of the loose
it looks
stuff.
it looks like the 2 on the left have like had a really spiritual awakening, like stroking a sedated tiger in Thailand for 2 weeks. Like that's what it looks like, and they're on a journey back now to make sure we improve our lives by drinking smoothies. But the guy with the shield and the spear is baller, big fan, and he's got that kind of horn motif we've seen on the model from the new Slaanesh versus something.
So the Celeste sort of style as well. Kind of, it's almost going in that Middle Eastern kind of approach, giving the Slaanesh stuff a different aesthetic look rather than just being its own thing. It's kind of gone to a different route, I suppose, which is quite nice. It's odd that they've got mismatching boots.
Yeah, I like what Circle said. The cloak, if you look, is actually like looped into his skin, which is messed up, which I think is fun. Rob, that's literally what Slaanesh cultists do. Leather Daddy Slangor. But that Slangor that's the one, right? Look at him. He's got what I like about the Zangor. If you look, he's got those kind of like little tassels underneath, and there's some sort of like design kind of like mirroring along with some of the Lumineth stuff.
Yes,
it's got the same sort of thing. That's quite fun. And then that big pincer. Oh, baby.
Yeah,
but
it's nice that they're not just all booby as well. Like Slangor just being a thing that you'd milk is kind of nice that it's not gone that way.
Yeah. Okay. It looks good. It looks good, I think. I think that's a cool range of models. Hate the board. Disgusting. So I'm out.
I was expecting the artwork of the board to be a little bit more dynamic because it wasn't all the basing on those figures doesn't suggest you're indoors. Instead, it still looks like a dungeon. That's a bit disappointing. But...
To be fair, if it being Slanesh, if it's not a dungeon, I'd be very disappointed.
Yeah. Well, this is probably going to be one of those games that I might buy the box because I've kind of tricked myself into thinking I'm going to play it. And then, like I did with Beastgrave, I'll paint half the warbands and then go, I'm never playing this. What's the point? And I'll regret it.
I see you're a wargamer.
Each version of Underworlds that's happened though, Rob, I get less and less interested, but I still try to because I've got it all sat there. I'm like, I've got to make the most of this. I'm going to use these cards. I'm sure I will.
You don't. You don't.
Never do.
In the chat, Owen,
not.
I tried painting some edging details on my Sinesh troops. Far too much tassel. That's a great joke. That's a great joke. How good is it that Sineshi Champion Shield, though, faces on the armour and shield is such a classic Warhammer motif? Merchant print, I agree with you, absolutely. I think it's a sweet-ass looking model. Really excited by that. Looks cute AF. Can I just say what I've said about Warcry since so I played Warcry when it wasn't... Not Warcry, sorry.
Underworld, you mean?
Underworld,
Shades
sorry.
Yeah,
when it was like... It was just some... I was at Games Workshop at the time, so I did some, not playtesting, but, they just showed me an example with some cards and stuff. And they would do you like it? And I was like, I like the models, but I don't like the game because it's the setting. I don't like the board. I want I know as much as it's a bit of a gag with terrain and stuff. I want an army. I want a battlefield. I like Jones off that stuff. I think that's the thing that brings the whole thing to life for me.
It's why we have the see-through objective markers.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's why Warcry is probably a game in its own right as well, because it's the step towards that for you, perhaps.
Yeah, maybe.
It's them answering that.
But I'm throwing the criticism straight off the bat that I don't like this because it just doesn't have the setting. And I know that might seem simple, but it just means I just can never be asked because I was into the models and then he showed me the board or whatever it was. I was like, nah, fuck this. Because then it's just a board game. It's just a board game. And it's also not very nice looking. The hexagons on the R. Whereas some board games, they've got some really nice kind of the actual board is really nice. I can't give you any good examples of ones I prefer. And this is obviously my choice. But the models, sweet AF. So hopefully they're good in the game. Yeah.
Yeah.
I hate cards. Just get them out of here. I want to roll dice. I agree with Lou Diamonds at all. I only want them as references, right? I think as soon as you extrapolate out beyond just the models rolling dice, it becomes less and less immersive. I don't know what you guys think.
Yeah, but I feel like it's scratching an itch as well as a company. They're doing it to pull in the board game and the card game guys, which
I already don't care about those guys. I'm a wargamer.
But that's the thing. It's not for you then, Robert. That's the point, isn't it? It's for a different audience that they want to tap into. So it's fine. It's fine that we don't need to like everything they do, right?
Degenerates. That's who they're trying to
exactly.
get to. That's
sure.
Tell you what, it's been a fairly underwhelming. I mean, those two warbands are nice, I guess, but pretty underwhelming as a reveal.
How have we been underwhelmed when we've come in with literally no expectations?
Still managed to be underwhelmed.
I expect nothing,
we
and I'm
see
still
a new Blood Bowl
disappointed.
team. The fact that we saw nothing really new other than the two referees, I'm kind of like, okay. I thought there maybe would be more.
I thought there'd be more, but there was not.
But that's just me. I'm always expecting more. That's why I'm eternally disappointed.
Okay. I think that might be all the model stuff. The only other thing that they mentioned in the Warhammer community article was a preview of animated stuff. I want to see some vampires. Games Workshop always over-delivers on under-delivering. In turn, Matt, you're right. They do over-deliver on under-delivering.
I shouldn't be surprised.
Huh?
Shouldn't be surprised. I should expect it now. That's fine.
Thanks for Circlon for making us an image of three bowstrings. There we go. There's some sort of fancy bow that's using 3 bowstrings to shoot.
It's an Olympic bow, isn't it?
Oh, nice.
That's an Olympic bow, isn't it?
Yeah,
but not all at different lengths, though, right?
Oh.
Suck my ass.
Oh no, it's an anime.
Yes. Hold on.
Weep Hammer.
Oh my god, yes. Weep Hammer. Why are they running like that?
It looks like it's missing a lot of frames.
It's different ones.
Often
It's
that
different
decision, isn't it?
No, I mean the actual anime style one. No, that's not an anime
Yeah,
style one, actually. Never mind. That's why I'm confused.
We've seen that one before. Oh no, that other one looked
it's the
terrible.
90s style animation
There's
frame rate
so
thing where they're
much
saving
glow.
money. Lens flare.
That's going to be terrible. That marine one. Oh, that looks.
Am I looking too much into this? Do you think the next Aspect Warriors they're going to do plastics for will be striking scorpions?
I think they're doing a
Or
whole
would
new
that-
Eldar range.
Or would that suggest they're actually planning?
Eldrad in chat. This stream is a waste of time. Brilliant. There you go.
Yeah, the CGI in the. I agree. The CGI one looks particularly bad. Like
I am reserving judgment on all of that because I feel like it's not what I tend to like from those kinds of like from when I watch something like I don't like you don't sit down and just watch a rock movie because you're bored, do you? Like if I just want to see if I want to see something explode, I'll just go and watch a rock movie. I like 40K because I like the setting. I want to see some more like characterful shit rather than just things hitting each other repeatedly.
Okay, yeah, fair point. I mean, I'd be interested because it's a nice delivery system. It's a way of delivering lore and story in a different format, which I'm always excited about.
Here's another thing, by the way. Sorry, I feel like a lot of that is not going to be aimed at people like us.
No,
it's going to be aimed at literally children.
Well, not even that. It's bringing it out to the masses. So in that respect of the people that watch your Marvels, your Star Wars films and stuff, it's getting them to look at this as a universe. So it might just be toned in a different way to try to humanize elements to showcase it to those people, which might not make it worth watching, but we don't know.
For us personally, yeah, I just mean it's not worth watching for other people, though.
Yeah, exactly, and that's the thing. We've got a very different kind of perspective on this. That we've read and enjoy this hobby, so we're going to be very emotionally invested in whatever they produce.
No,
I just look.
I'm just gonna disagree
with
with that. In
Really?
the I'm going to be emotionally invested, but I'm not colorblind.
Totally.
The CGI one looks guff. Like it looks.
I don't rate CGI as a technique a lot of the time. I think it's.
Well, I just watched. I don't know if anyone else watched it. I've watched Dragon's Dogma on Netflix recently, which has got like a lot of like CGI on it, and I'm not sure the money spent on it, but it was okay. Like at best, it was okay, but it looked like it was fine. But that CGI one looks terrible compared, especially when you've seen stuff like Astartes now. Like, but it looks old. That's the problem. Like, when you're like the point about we're going to be emotionally invested and we're going to judge it more. I'm not.
Yeah.
I also do other things other than Warhammer.
Oh, totally.
Right? So I look at this and I think, yeah, like this is kind of I like the art direction of the anime one, the one that they're showing now on the screen. That's more like it's funky. It's kind of like got like an Akira vibe to it.
Yes. Well, it's very 90s kind of in that approach, and that a lot of that stuff was done in a very cost-saving manner. So you'd get the character standing still with just the mouth moving. So I'm not sure if that's informed why they've gone with this aesthetic choice as well, because that was a cost-saving measure to churn the stuff out. So you had stuff like the very late 90s stuff like Bubblegum Crisis, Tokyo 2040 was all centered around this stuff where you had some really cool, expensive bits done, and then the dialogue pieces were a lot of standing still and just talking with just the mouths basically moving. So might be that.
Okay, yeah, it might be. I mean, I like how that looks anyway. I think that's fun. I'm always like big fan of like the original Ghost in the Shell, Akira, that sort of stuff. Exactly. So if it follows that kind of like that line, then I think it's going to look pretty sweet. Also, like I think the big problem for them as a company is like, you know, if you were doing an anime, you could like be like, how much detail are we going to put on characters or in the universe? But unfortunately, like there's already like a pre like set up. Like there's already like an amount of stuff that you have to put on the models and everything else. If that makes sense. Does that make sense? Like it has to be. It already has to be complicated. So they have to spend the money on it. See you later, Owen. Big love. Hope you're well. It looks okay. But I same as when we saw that CGI version before. So this anime is a new thing we haven't seen before, right?
Yeah, they did some very quick preview kind of teasers in the initial launch that they were doing this whole what was the name for this? They've called it like the storybook people or whatever. Storyforge. It's just like cool. But again, they've not put any time frames on this, so this could be previews for something a year down the line.
I'd be interested. They didn't say something like new from Storyforge. I wonder if that part of the company has collapsed in of itself, if that makes sense. Narrator voice.
Yeah.
It did. If there's some sort of inclination towards, maybe everything's kind of fallen apart a bit, and then now they've just got all this money spent on these random projects and they don't know what to do with them. The trade-off in anime series, says Scott B, was often detail of elements versus frame rate. So Naruto would do something swing wildly in art style between episodes depending on which was deemed more important.
And also consistency in plot, but yeah.
Yeah. Yes.
Fucking hot, terrible anime that was.
Yeah.
Most overrated series I've ever seen, dude.
What's your favourite
Naruto.
anime? Twitch chat, John, Tom, what's your favourite anime cartoon thing?
I like lots of different ones for lots of different reasons. I can't go into a favourite.
Easy mode.
Just pick me one.
If it's a film, Akira, just because it's such an informative one for me. But as a series, Cowboy Bebop.
Okay. Well, so Fluke's a lot is on your side there. Ragnar does Atla. Grinaldi says Death Note. Claymore.
Death Note's one of my favourites as well. I like that
Ellis says Claymore, which I've never even seen. Legends
Claymore's
of Galactic Heroes. The OG Last Airbender. Darwin Duck.
Great.
Elfen Lied. I need to order my. I love Vampire Hunter.
Seinfeld, obviously. Yeah, it's a great anime.
Anything
Corey in the house, and we've seen Frank.
Anything by Shinichiro Watanabe. Don't know who that is. I'm really showing. I like Sword Art Online. I'm just gonna say that.
Oh,
you'd like Full Metal Alchemist as well.
Oh no!
I liked it.
You don't actually like Sword Art Online, do you?
Yeah, I fucking loved it. It was great. I love it. Well, mainly because I played a lot. Well, at one point I played a lot of MMOs, and I just loved loved the concept of being trapped in an MMO. I was like, this is cool, right?
And the Lupin the Third films as well. I loved just the silly cheese of gone on a heist. Like Castle of Cagliostro is great fun.
I'm into Food Wars right now. Redefine anime as the best animation in it ever. Redline. Full Metal Alchemist. SAO was awful, Rob. Oh my god, getting ragged on in the chat for saying
Rightly
that.
so, by the way.
I liked it. What? I can't like a thing. You're all there watching Star Wars. You fucking
watching it. No, we don't like Star Wars.
You degenerates are all watching Star Wars, and I'm not allowed to just I know it's a bad one. I just don't know any others. I haven't watched any others. I tried watching Seven Deadly Sins. I didn't really like that. What else did I try?
Even the first arc of Bleach was fine, but it wasn't great.
I like Attack on Titan.
Yeah. Have you seen the latest season?
Huh?
Have you seen the latest season?
No, I haven't seen season 3 yet. I'm saving it.
Oh, dude. For
when it's dubbed.
You're kidding me.
Again, I only watch
I'm sat here reading the chapters every month they come out, and you're just saying I'm not watching season 3 because it's only subbed.
Yeah, I'm never watching anything that's not dubbed because
I'm Japanese, bro.
I'm a super visual guy. I'm really into video production. If anyone wants a film suggestion from me today, Hell or the Highway is a film that came out not maybe 3 or 4 years ago. It's got some of the best cinematography that I've seen in a very long time. It's beautiful to watch, and that's what I jones on. I love set pieces. I love cinema. I love the visuals. I like story as well, and I like acting. But if I'm reading, I'm not watching. Changing my mind. Does that make sense? No.
Yeah.
No?
Well, that's the thing. It's I find sometimes if I'm tired, if I'm trying to watch something and it's got subtitles, I lose focus and I fall asleep.
So one of the reasons why I only ever watch dubbed stuff is just so I can paint while I'm watching.
Mm.
Yeah, but then isn't the whole point of anime more than anything is how it looks?
No, I like the character development.
It should be that kind of Venn diagram of it all, really.
No, it's why I watch things like Chihaya Faru, because I enjoy the character development, and also the slam poetry is awesome.
What I like about Food Wars is that it's a show about people eating food, so they get their clothes fly off. And they take cooking super seriously. Okay, I can only watch dubbed.
This is why I gave him a weird champ when I saw he liked it. Oh dear.
I'm so relieved that no one's put Love Hina. That's all I'm going to say.
Have you watched the Castlevania anime on Netflix? I really recommend it. Yeah, Castlevania was solid. I really like Castlevania.
Yes.
It was really
that was really good.
That's why you should watch that Dragon one that I just told you about on Netflix. That one's Like it's quite short and it's nice. It's pretty good. Helsing is the only dub I like because of the character had a random Glaswegian accent. That's fun.
Have you got any more reveals yet?
I don't think no. We're just waiting. We're waiting.
About an hour. What reveal?
It's fucking terrible. It's fucking terrible.
Oh, dear.
Right. How long? Right. How long do you think it'd reckon to dox Adam just by looking out of his window?
I literally saw someone walking in his garden. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, same. I was looking at the swing and then someone just walks down the path.
Do you reckon if we could find out exactly where he lived, we could work out how to put ourselves somewhere in that little crack of window
Stand in the background
with a sign?
Holding a sign saying 500-point stomper.
They'll just be Rob on the swing. Whee!
Twitch chat, get on that. You're some very
No, don't encourage Twitch chat to do that. That's TOS.
That's kind of illegal, Rob.
You can't do that, dude. You can't do that. No.
Okay, don't do that. What can't I do? Like work out exactly where to hold a sign from.
Yeah, right. Yeah, right. From just looking at that picture, you can work out what the best place to hold a sign would be.
That's what I want.
You can't encourage anyone to try and find an address.
No, I'm not doing that at all. No.
Good.
No way.
Okay. Very bad.
Okay.
That's what I thought we were doing. And
Yeah.
I was like, no, bad.
No, I want to work out exactly where I need to stand on Google Maps to do that.
You're gonna do some geo tracker.
Yeah, do it and hold a sign. But I don't want it to be a sign. I want it to be a boombox.
It's just gonna be a stomper.
Just one stomper. That's what
In the GW chat, the animation team have been busy making all the new preview videos. It's like, yeah, so they've basically been moving the app team to do the 40k one instead of doing the Age of Sigmar, and then the animation team are currently just making videos to promote figures. That makes perfect sense, right?
Mm.
What are they saying? They're saying there's a hold on getting these things done. I can't believe the stomper is a banned word in their own chat. Like,
Oh dear.
Wait, is it actually? Can someone test for that?
yeah.
Yeah,
even if you use highlighted points, like which is a sort of currency that you get for watching Twitch, you can't say, okay, last preview coming up apparently. Thank God.
I think we should buy Adam Troke a stomper. On the condition he puts it behind him.
We should buy the bow stomper so at the next stream reveal from under the table.
But Eddie's desk is far too low. You won't see it. You need it on Adam's shelf instead of the now skull or whatever he's got there.
We should just Yup, it's banned. Okay.
Sag.
Oh, is it Kill Team?
I can't believe.
Please don't be Kill Team.
Is the Starty still banned?
Can you?
Is the Starty still banned in the chat? Because that would be funny.
I
Wait,
think
why
they're
is it banned? So the reason it's banned is because people asked for a 500-point stomper, and then they deleted the comments. You also couldn't say Astartes because of the Astartes video that you can watch.
They were doing the animation preview in one of the earlier ones, and people kept saying still not as good as Astartes. Oh, thanks for warning again, man child. Good test. Thank you.
What, can you say Astartes now?
Yeah, it's not banned. It's off the ban list.
Oh, that's good. Well done.
We don't actually have any banned words in our chat, do we? I've checked. We have no.
We've not.
What?
We don't really need to. A lot of the time.
No, as in like things like Astartes or Stomper or things like that. We haven't banned anything like that.
No.
I found that our community don't tend to provoke the requirements of us even having moderators doing anything.
No,
I mean,
we got the best Twitch chat.
Speaking of which, I need to click my mod view. I haven't done that yet today.
Piece of my time. Yeah, try 400-point Mega Gargan. That's also true.
Oh dear.
Our mod actions literally go down without me scrolling at all to 25 days ago.
Yeah, well, you don't need to do anything. The only time we've ever done anything is ban a bot, I think.
And that includes a raid that we did.
Yeah.
Or banning someone temporarily just to show that they've been obnoxious.
Has anyone got any 500-point stompers?
Love it. Oh, 40k. Is it more Space Marines? It's Space Marines, guys. It's Space Marines, I can tell.
Okay.
Can't be. Warhammer 40,000, so not Age of Sigmar, as if we're not bored of it.
Oh, it's
Okay.
Necron.
It's a green glow, so it's Space Marines. Oh, it's
Oh, but
Space
it's a dead
Marines.
Space Marine.
Hold on. There's
That's
a dead
a
Space
what?
Marine.
It's a sloth. It's a sloth.
It's a flayed one.
Yep.
Wait, we've
Well, we've
seen
seen
flayed
that.
ones.
Prepare
They're
It's a
to
Kill
delicious.
Team. Oh, they're updating Kill Team. There you go.
Oh God.
I predicted the flayed one.
So early 2021, they're
So they revealed
redoing
nothing.
Kill Team.
Thanks.
Can we just talk about how
for
terrible also the
watching.
graphics for that was terrible as well?
Thanks
Oh
for
my
watching. There's no more.
Can't someone just write okay suicide time?
This is the worst preview ever. What even was this? Oh my god. Oh my god. Listen, are we really expecting anything from the guys that made the Warhammer 40,000 app and still advertise it?
We've got great bullying content. We have great content to write.
All it is people in the chat going, "This is disappointing."
I feel so sorry for Adam and Eddie having to being like trotted out there to do that show.
Here's everyone else's hard work, and we're having to say it's great.
Here come Adam and Eddie, or Addy as we like to call them, wandering into the office. Oh, guys, we've got a preview coming up. What can we show you? Well, we don't actually have too much, but here's some referees. And some clips.
Here's that thing that got leaked 2 months ago. We'll show that as well.
Right, now stretch it out for an hour and 15 minutes. Off you go, lads. Off you go. Fantastic. Thank you. You're very helpful.
I didn't expect anything, but I got great rants from you guys. Well, I'm glad about that. I don't know if they even try anymore. They definitely don't even try anymore. They definitely got no... the recent reveals are genuinely making me consider whether they want to be in this... oh, don't worry. Stuart Hastings, listen. The reveals, whatever. It's still a great game. Like, this is just the new stuff they could show us, but they got nothing new to show, which is fine. Whatever. Underworlds, who the fuck cares? Couldn't agree with you more.
Underworld's more like underwhelming, am I right?
That was, I prefer Edam. I agree. Those Underworld models are pretty. I don't know if it was worth an hour and a half to wait for them. Kill Team, wasn't this just a preview of... Wasn't this a post-review of stuff
it's
that
a preview of things that are coming out in literally 3 months that will get their own previews.
We'd seen pictures of the Diachasm guys when they first did the preview. They showed bits of that, so there's very little of that was genuinely new.
Really, the stream's just turned off. They literally aren't even coming back to talk about the clip they just showed. And message deleted by a moderator immediately.
Those new Underworld warbands will be OP and OS. They looked fun at least. That was the worst one.
Rob, have you ever noticed a good stat? The way to tell how much people are paying attention to your stream is to check to see how many people are still watching when the stream turns off.
Yeah.
3/4 of the people watching their stream are still there. They haven't noticed it's been turned off.
Because they're like, screw this is not an issue.
They've literally just left it on, minimised or muted, or walked off.
The Slash Mortal dudes look cool. That was the one thing that we saw, like in a bridge of stuff. They revealed more on the Army Painter stream last night than they did, I think.
I think they did. Wait, you notice that they've got metallic colours? Does that mean like metallic purples, metallic reds, that kind of stuff?
Yeah.
That's so cool. I want those.
Apparently, and also according to Hey Dogs, Kenny Boucher, they're whatever they're called, not dips. That's not the right word. Washes apparently are the baller as well. The Slangor did look good. What was everyone's favourite bit, and does anyone care about any of it at all? Thanks for at least making the travesty bearable. Listen, it's our pleasure to just talk about why Sword Art Online is so good and other things. Mum, Dad, I'm positive about this. We'll go back into Underworlds this season. That's really exciting for you. One of the only people. I liked when it ended.
My favourite bit was seeing that referee because of all the memes it's going to create with red cards.
What?
Someone's already put Salty John's face on it.
That's perfect. They should. Every TO should have a couple of those, and you should just paint some red cards, some yellow cards, and then just be like, "You have a yellow card now in this tournament." Huh?
I love yellow card.
The band.
See, I'm at that stage now. I'm just like, cool. I'll think about anything but Warhammer now because they've just made me switch off a little bit.
Point, John. I was trying to make a point, and you just derailed it with a really average 2000s pop punk band. One song. They had one song. Ocean Avenue. Wasn't even that good.
7 albums.
None of them are good.
7 albums. Holy shit! Yellow Card have 7 albums. That's outrageous.
Yeah. And the first one was called Midget Tossing, Rob.
Rob. I think that's a TOS word. I'm not sure we can say that, even if it is the name of an album.
I like that they looked at the previews and went, "That's a bit shit and not enough. So let's do a reveal. We haven't forgotten about Kill Team." No night.
We revealed
codex.
nothing about Kill Team there, by the way.
No. Bring out the red
Hey
card.
guys, we're still making Kill Team.
Yeah. By the way, if you've played Kill Team recently, yellow card is cancelled. They described them as Heed Knights of Slaanesh Warband. Okay, because there's going to be a Mortal Slaanesh book. We know that at least. They looked like the previews and went, "That's a bit shit and not enough. Let's do a reveal." Yeah. Did they already forget that their post from 3 days ago, where they revealed this stuff probably anyway? Maybe. Do they even take questions? Do they take questions in the chat? Oh wait, 3 days ago they did a post about vampires, and so I think people thought that we might be getting some bad vampires today.
Yeah.
Feck off.
Yeah.
But
Oh, well done, Tom. I heard that.
What?
He said feck off.
Feck off.
Yeah, feck off, vampires.
Thanks to Mum Dad donate 500 bits to the show. Have something sweet to counter all this salt. That's fine. I'm hyped for Blood Bowl, but we knew about that literally forever ago. That's true as well. At least the Blood Bowl moles, like, it's cool now. Blood Bowl, new edition. You can buy that box. That's pretty fun, and it's better than the old box.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but it's going to be expensive. But the old box is 4 years old now because that was 2016.
Yeah.
So it was coming to the point where they'd changed and tweaked the rules enough that it probably did need a bit of a refresh anyway.
It's true.
Yeah. Can we do the Blood Bowl table in the museum as well?
Okay. Yeah, that's true.
It'd be cool.
Well, I think that's everything for today from us. We're sorry that it was so disappointing for you. We didn't make it disappointing.
We did not reveal anything.
I tried my best.
Yeah, we tried to
It's alright, guys. If you're really running out of stuff to watch, they've just put a rerun of it up so we can watch it again.
Yeah, I'm going to go watch that instead of Fnatic versus Tez.
Yeah. Or you can watch any of the Stream Streak shows. Just saying. Hashtag.
There's 221 of them, 211 of them. Loads of content.
211 of them. Don't forget to join us tomorrow, where me and the gang will be playing Baldur's Gate for the first time.
Are you playing? Oh, are you playing Baldur's Gate 2?
Yeah. We're going to be playing it. Baldur's Gate 3, in fact, actually. Tom?
Can you play multiplayer, Rob?
You can.
Have you got any space, Rob?
Maybe. So yeah, we're gonna go big on that tomorrow for the stream streak. Monday's show is going to be Age of Sigmar event results. Tuesday will be the 40k adjacent show, and then we're hopefully booking in some guests for next week. So that's going to be fun for that. So join us for the rest of the stream streaks. I think Monday's Age of Sigmar show is going to be Monday night is going to be our favourite Age of Sigmar rules. So to counteract the terrible rules we saw last week, I thought we'd do a show on all the rules that we really actually liked. So ones that are fun and engaging, because we never talk about that, which would be fun. But it's been a pleasure talking to you two. Thanks so much for coming on the show. And thanks to everyone on the Twitch chat. Thanks to everyone on this Wargamer Patreon. And of course, thank you to everyone. Twitch chat, you guys rule. You guys are the best. Loads of love. See you guys soon. Podcasters, stay hydrated.